Hey, everybody. GMTV show number 75. Been a crazy week. And, we were celebrating show number 75 on GMTV, and our very good friend, Mike Baumwall, passed away this week. Big contributor to the show, my partner in Last Minute Productions, where we made a lot of those collaborative videos together, and he made a lot on his own that we've done on the show over the pandemic. And he and I have forged a very sort of deep friendship over the last couple of years with the pandemic, and before that we played in bands together. Mike Baumwall unfortunately passed away, and we've got a bunch of people coming on to talk about that and to talk about Mike and celebrate his life. And we don't even know what I don't know how to feel yet. It hasn't hit me yet that it's real. It feels strange and crazy, but it's been some year. And Mike, you'll be missed. So with no further ado, I'm bringing on my good friend Bill Nolman. Maybe I'll play some music and cheer me up. Hey, Bill.
Hey, how you doing? And I mean, obviously, just to get it out of the way, my sympathies to all of his family, his relatives, his friends. Yeah. I didn't know him at all, other than being an admirer of the stuff that I saw him post, that you guys did. And
I mean, he did some great. You worked with Holly on various things, and he did a bunch of stuff with Holly. And it was a way for him to contribute in a giant way to everybody having a pandemic where they were able to do music.
Well, it's kind of it's funny because some people have shone so brightly during the pandemic that you almost, and we've actually even talked about it, you almost like, there are elements of it that I kind of prefer. There's something about everybody being resourceful and everybody, having to make that kind of effort, and everybody having to do this stuff. And obviously the stuff he did was amazing. And just specifically, I think it was last week where they posted Shanghai Noodle Factory, which is without question one of my very favorite Traffic cuts. And hearing that whole arrangement, and then hearing Holly sing that was really that was like the cherry on top for me. But
that's right. I mean, the thing about Mike is that he was a driving force. This is a guy who wasn't scared of anything. He was like, let's go for it. Let's make it happen. And he would pick material, and I would look at it and be like, oh my God, you're joking, right? Like, the first thing we ever did together was he was like, why don't we do together somehow a version of What Is Hip as an organ trio? And I was like, oh, I got to play the organ on that. That sounds hard. He's like, come on, we'll do it. It'll be great. We got JC Osler who laid down the bass track, and he played the drums, and we did it. And then we were like, hey, what if we could do that? Maybe we could climb this little mountain. We could try that little mountain, And some of the work, I saw Winston the other night, and Winston was a really good friend of Mike's, and he did a thing from La La Land, which was like insane. It was like 10 horns and 15 vocal tracks, and we all did it, and it was really fun. And Mike kind of pulled all that stuff together. It was really great.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a shame, and so young, and
that's true.
But at very least, when you have a legacy of such a great contribution, and so much appreciation of what he did,
right?
At the end of the day, that doesn't help everything, but it's not the worst thing in the world where so many people were admirers. And
you're absolutely right.
So.
All right, well, play some music and get us out of this mood, and I'll see you after a couple songs.
All right. There are places I remember all my life. Some have changed, some forever, not for better. Some have gone, some remain. All these places have their moments with lovers and friends. I still can recall, some are dead and some are living in my life. I love them all. But of all these friends and lovers, there is no one compares with you. And these memories lose their meaning when I think of love as something new. Though I know I will never lose affection for people and things that went before. I know I'll often stop and think about them in my life. I love you more. Though I know I will never lose affection for people and things that went before, I know I'll often stop and think about them in my life. I love you more. In my life, I love you more. Okay.
Fantastic.
Thank you. Okay, now for the generic portion of our program. On the water down in New Orleans, my baby's the pearl of the quarter. She's a charmer like you never seen, singing voulez-vous, voulez-vous, where the sailor spends his hard-earned pay. Red beans and rice for a quarter. You can see her almost every day, singing voulez-vous, voulez-vous. And if you hear from my Louise, won't you tell her that I say hello? Just make it clear when her day is done, she's got a place to go. I walked alone on the Miracle Mile. I met my baby by the shrine of the martyr. She stole my heart with her Cajun smile, singing voulez-vous, voulez-vous. She loved the $1,000,000 words I say. She loved the candy and flowers that I bought her. She said she loved me and was on her way, singing voulez-vous, voulez-vous. say hello. Just make it clear when her day is done, she's got a place to go. And if you hear from my Louise, won't you tell her that I say hello? Just make it clear when her day is done, she's got a place to go.
Nice songs. Sad songs, slow songs, heartfelt, but very nice. Love it.
Yeah, I was going in a whole different direction until we spoke before the show. It was like, but you raised an excellent point to me, which was I didn't really know Mikey, so it's like I can only reflect on the condition of life, the life condition of humans. That's
right. Nice. But, do a couple more. I got Ray Simonelli in the studio. I got Dan
Simonelli.
I got Dan Trill. I'll bring Ray on just to say hi for a second. Hey, Ray.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Hey,
Nolan.
Razor.
How are you?
I'm doing good. Hey, is there something you could do on your end to pump up Nolan's volume just a little bit? Because like when I hear you talk, it's nice and crisp, but when he talks, it's like just,
Yeah, that's Ed's trick.
It's all on his end. Is what you're saying?
What, you want me louder? Pump it up.
There you go.
You want
me?
Should I be louder? I can be louder. With the touch of a dial, I can be louder.
Yeah, rock out.
Touch your dial and do a couple songs, and we'll see after that.
Yeah. I'm just going to be louder. I so rarely get asked to turn up. I don't remember when we were wild and young, all that's faded into memory. Feel like somebody I don't know. Are we really who we used to be? Am I really who I was? The lights will draw you in, and the dark will bring you down. The night will break your heart, but only if you're lucky now. Waiting outside while you find your keys, like bags of trash in the blackening snow. City of neon and toads freeze. We got nothing and nowhere to go. We got nothing and nowhere. The light will draw you in, and the dark will bring you down. The night will bring you up, only if you're lucky now. Don't remember were we wild or young, all that's faded into memory. I feel like somebody I don't know. Are we really who we used to be? Am I really who I was? The lights will draw you in, and the dark will bring you down. The night will break your heart, only if you're lucky now. Oh, the lights will draw you in, and the dark will bring you down. The night will break your heart, only if you're lucky now. lifting. Okay. There's I don't want to be morose, but there's another musician that I was more familiar with passed away. And anyway, but Nancy Griffith. I found your letter in my mailbox today. You were just checking if I was okay. If I miss you, you know what they say. Just once in a very blue moon, just once in a very blue moon, just once in a very blue moon, and I think one coming on soon. No need to tell me you'd like to be friends. Help me get back on my feet again. If I miss you at all, it's just now and then. Just once in a very blue moon, just once in a very blue moon, just once in a very blue moon, and I feel one coming on soon. There's a blue moon shining whenever I'm reminded of all we've been through. There's a blue moon shining. Does it ever shine down on you? You act as if it never hurt you at all, like I'm the only one who's getting up from a fall. Don't you remember? Don't you recall? Just once in a very blue moon, just once in a very blue moon, just once in a very blue moon, and I feel one coming on soon. Just once in a very blue moon.
Nice.
I guess I was a little morose, wasn't I, tonight?
Wow. No, it's good. It's good. You know, the mood is a little today because of Mike, you know, and we're all just trying to get our heads around
the mood.
There you go. I gotta get some tequila. I gotta drink tonight. I haven't had a drink on the show in like forever.
Well, you know what? I'll see you in person. What, like on the 20-something at 26th or something?
Right. We talked about the 26th. Cross your fingers on the weather. We'll do that at the boat club. Anybody that's listening, come down to the boat club on the 26th of August. We're going to do a live version of this, and hopefully it's going to be great.
Right.
Yeah. So we'll have a drink then.
There you go. They do that at the boat club.
They do that at the boat. They do it very well at the boat club. They're like,
I think you need a glass of bourbon.
There it is.
Not bad at that at the boat club.
Exactly. You got one more for us in opening and the opening set, Bill Nolan, and then we'll bring Ray on before he has to run off to his jam.
I'm going off the rack here.
All right.
Now that I lost everything to you, wanna start something new. It's breaking my heart you're leaving. Baby, I'm breathing. But if you wanna leave, take good care. Hope you make a lot of nice friends out there. Just remember there's a lot of bad and beware. Ooh, baby, baby, it's a wild world. It's hard to get by with just upon a smile, girl. Ooh, baby, baby, it's a wild world. I always remember you like a child, girl. You know I've seen a lot of what the world can do. It's breaking my heart in two. I never wanna see you sad, girl. Don't be a bad girl. But if you wanna leave, take good care. Hope you find a lot of nice things to wear. Just remember there's a lot of bad and beware. Ooh, baby, baby, it's a wild world. It's hard to get by with just upon a smile, girl. Ooh, baby, baby, it's a wild world. I always remember you like a child, girl. La 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 la. Baby, I love you. So if you wanna leave, take good care. Hope you make a lot of nice friends out there, and a lot of get go bad for you. Ooh, baby, baby, it's a wide world. It's hard to get by with just upon a smile, girl. Ooh, baby, baby, it's a wild world. I always remember you like a child, girl. That's the Islam part. Yeah. Anyway. Okay.
Did you say that was the Islam button?
Well, Yusuf Islam, because it's like, you know.
Right.
I used to go into the full, like, you know.
I'm gonna plug my headphones in here. Yeah, so is Yosef Islam, aka Cat Stevens, is he like back with the Taliban now? Is that what's happening?
No, he is not. And frankly, like one of the hilarious things in the early days of the, what home affairs? What was the Homeland Security?
Homeland Security, yeah, right.
He was one of the first guys flagged on an airplane. The
Yeah.
guy who wrote Peace Train. Like he's one of the first guys they flagged just because it's like, hey, his last name's Islam. Oh, you know, that's beyond like profiling. That's just sort of dumbing. You know.
My God.
His name's Islam, therefore, you know.
Unless he is like Osama bin Laden by another name and he uses the music as a cover story. We don't know, you know.
You know what? That statement alone has just gotten you a show on Fox.
There you go. Exactly. No, I don't know. You know, suspicion breeds confidence. That's what I say.
You just don't know. You know, you throw logic out and you don't know what's left.
Even he's got a perfectly nice feline name and he throws it away for Islam, you know.
Yeah,
and that's what I would do. If I was going to blow shit up, I would change my name. I would write a song called Peace Train. I would write it, Peace Train. I would write the song, and I'd be like, you know?
I can't believe you, of all people, are throwing a guy whose name is Cat Stevens under the bus. You, of all
exactly. Cat Stevens.
Nice.
If his name was like Dog Stevens, I
Dog
get it.
Stevens,
Cat
that would
Stevens,
be it.
That's terrible.
I don't know. I can't vouch. All I'm saying is I can't vouch. That's all I'm saying. I'll go visit him in Guantanamo and everything, but I can't vouch, you know?
Oh, boy.
Cat Stevens. I love Cat Stevens. I love Cat Stevens ever since I saw Harold and Maude. You ever seen that movie?
I have.
Great movie.
Not in decades, but I have.
Oh, what a movie. What a great movie. Weird movie. And soundtrack by Yusuf Islam.
You can't beat the movies of the 70s.
That's right. Good stuff. Thanks, Bill Nolan.
You're welcome.
Beautiful job. Beautiful.
Thanks so much.
No, it was
Bye-bye,
fun.
everybody.
All right.
Thanks,
I'll see you
Bill.
later, Bill. There he goes. Ray Simonelli. I'm just going to keep you on the screen, Dan.
That's fine. I'm just here because what a day.
what a day, right? I mean, for those of you just joining us, Mike Baumwall, who is a big part of our lives musically and a big part of the show and a big part of like doing all these collaborative videos together, and he passed away, and we just can't. I can't. When you're in your 20s and your 30s, how old are you, Dan?
49.
49. Okay, so when you're in I thought you were 34. So when you are, swear to God, so when you're in your 20s, like nobody dies, like oh yeah, fiery crash maybe, yeah, coming home from the bar, but nobody is dying, like just oops, and then you get into your 50s, and spoiler alert, Dan, you get into your 50s, and then like somebody goes, and then you get into your I'm 57, so you get it there, and then next thing you know, like this year, this has been a crazy year for drummers, right? Mike passed away the other day. Steve Wexler, our good friend, had been fighting cancer for a long time. Pat Padula passed away, and also Art Powers, hit a tree while he's skiing, and like this is in the last year, and like what is happening? Like I haven't had the the opportunity to like deal with this kind of stuff that I remember. I don't know. This one hit me like a ton of bricks.
Yeah, you're not alone in that. I was a little delayed. I found out earlier this afternoon, so I'm still trying to process this. But I'm sure you probably will have heard this a million times by now. But Mike was one of the most warm-hearted, generous people. And one of the things that makes this so awful is like, why do the good ones go first?
Absolutely.
So the saddest thing for me is just the realization that we're not going to play music again, together.
Yeah,
again.
right. That is the craziest thing. And it's funny because like where do you live, Dan?
In Sleepy Hollow.
Oh, you live in Sleepy Hollow, so you live near Mike.
Yeah, he was in Hastings. Yeah.
Right. So for some reason I thought you were in like the Midwest or Texas or something. I got it mixed. I didn't know you were local. We got to get together at one point. Maybe.
Yeah. I'd love to.
I know Winston and Carl are cooking up a get together that's going to happen. I think in September. We're going to get together and jam. We'll keep you posted. Maybe you come up for that. And we're all doing Jam TV on the 26th. If you want to come to the boat club, anybody watching too, you want to come to the boat club, play some music, that would be great. But so I get what I was going to say was I see, like Heidi is in Texas, and
I didn't know that.
And like a bunch of people are from like California and Texas, and there was a guy from Japan that Mike knew, and normally around Fairfield County, a lot of people meet each other through my jams or through jams in general, right? And so they're like, oh, I met you at da-da-da, and I met you at da-da-da. But now, during the pandemic, it's not just here. It's like I met so many people through Mike that just sort of flowed into that Last Minute Productions, collaborative video stream. That it's like there's a whole another jam family that's been created and incorporated into what we're doing.
Yeah, and people like Mike, they bring people together. And so I was just so grateful to him that he and I had played together live for a few years. But I was so grateful to him when he reached out and got me involved in some of the recordings that you all did for Last Minute Productions. And it was just a blast. And, he was just one of those people that was kind of like, the glue. A lot of people know each other through Mike because he was one of those kinds of people. And so it's going to be very sorely missed.
I know, and that's kind of why we teamed up, because I do that. I like to introduce people. I enjoy that. You have to like that. You have to like to be like you ought to know so and so. Like Ray is very good at that. Ray Simonelli over here. You're very good at that because you're like, hey, how you doing? I will accompany you and then bring you into a world where you can perform. And you've done that to so many people. You're another bringer together person, Ray.
Now, actually, what Don said before about Mike resonated with me because through the whole pandemic, you know, he was the collaborative video guy. He was on Jam TV every week. He was in a box. He was like one of the guests on the show almost every week.
Right.
And I saw all of the videos that he did, and I could tell the guy had talent. And I knew he played with bands and people. But then finally, a few months ago, he came down to one of those street corner concerts. And I got to meet the guy in person. We had a nice conversation. And what came through immediately was, this guy's like a really gentle soul. So what you said before, Don, it's like it comes through when you meet him. He's just a really nice, sweet guy, you know?
Right.
And we had a great conversation. I'm thankful that I at least got to meet him in person. Unfortunately, I never got to play with him. I would have liked that, but you know, at least I got to meet him, shake his hand, and talk to him a little bit, other than seeing his face on a TV screen.
Yeah, that's right. But that's the way it was for the last couple of years.
Well, that's how it was, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Ray, so good to see you. And why don't you play a couple of songs?
All right. Yeah, I'm happy to be here. All right. Heard you knocking on my cellar door. I love you, baby, can I have some more? Ooh, the damage done. I hit the city and I lost my band. I watch a needle take another man. Gone, gone, the damage done. I sing about him 'cause I love a man, but honey, you don't understand. Milk, blood, to keep from running out. I see the needle and the damage done, a little bit of it in everyone, but every junkie's like the setting sun. Knocking on my cellar door. I love you, baby, can I have some more? Ooh, the damage done.
Nice.
Little Neil Young. As opposed to the Neil Young song I did last week. Mixing it up a little.
Yeah,
is that Nick Carter? Hey Nick, how you doing, man?
I'm great. How are you guys? Good to see you.
Good to see you again.
Thank you. Good to see you guys as well.
Nice.
Hey Dan, I don't know if we've met. Nice to see you.
We haven't. I'm here for the sort of impromptu memorial.
Now, I don't know how well Nick Carter even knows Mike Baumwald. Do you know Mike at all?
Can you describe Mike to me?
Yeah. So unfortunately, Mike passed away a couple of days ago, and he was a guy who produced a lot of those collaborative videos that we collaborated on. That with on Jam TV, and you might have seen him on the show at some point.
Gentleman with a beard.
No, he looks like Friar Tuck, a bald head and very jolly, a pair of glasses.
I'm really sorry. No, very sad news. I saw Frank Costo's post, and I know what you just said. No, I did not know. It sounds like I missed a very fine acquaintance.
You're a really great guy, and we'll be playing some more of his videos. Great drummer. Played in Infinity Edge, the reggae band, and in Rocksteady Collective, and many others.
Okay.
So he'll be missed, but it was very unexpected. Young guy, and
Do we know what took him? What the cause?
he had a heart attack in his sleep. I mean, he went in his sleep,
I'm so sorry.
and too young, 52-year-old guy with family with two young children.
And
No
same thing happened to my nephew, Jeffrey, who's in his mid-50s, had a heart attack in his sleep. 2 daughters. They were on vacation in Florida,
Wow.
Disney World, and apparently it was like a sleep apnea thing that triggered the heart
Right.
attack.
Right.
And that was
No
it.
good. No good. It makes you face your own mortality. It makes you, appreciate. You have to appreciate what you're doing every day. Everybody says that. It's like trite already, but you have to enjoy what you're doing. And, don't say, I'll do it next week. Say, I'll do it now. Get it done because you don't know.
Absolutely.
Yep. And appreciate the good people in your life too.
Indeed.
Absolutely.
And,
Absolutely.
make sure they know they're appreciated.
That is correct.
Good advice, Dan. I lost a very dear friend. He was my school roommate for 3 years, and he pulmonary embolism, and he hadn't paid attention. 2 weeks before the business trip that caused the clot, he had a physical exam scheduled with his doctor. He canceled it because he had to plan this business trip.
Right. Yikes.
He died at 51. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So love the one you're with and look both ways when you cross the street, but have fun on either side of that street.
Absolutely. I'm doing my best. I'm trying. I'm wearing this shirt for crying out loud.
I know. I love that shirt. That's like a rainbow chemise.
Rainbow shirt.
Chemise.
So get this. So I'm doing a bunch of shows this summer. I'm doing one with Ray next week on Greenwich Avenue in Commons Park, right on the avenue in Greenwich, like where all the Pinkies Out fancy Greenwich stores are and restaurants. And I played there with the Hot Rubber Monkey Band a few weeks ago, and then I played there with the Blues Patrol the next week. And we're off this week, and I'm playing there with Ray and Dave Rao and Randy Stone. And the girls, with 3 fantastic female vocalists. So if you're not doing anything, you want to come see that band and you're in town, it's next Friday, the 27th, I think that is, from 12:30, from noon, 12:30 to 1:30, 1 hour like lunchtime set.
Hey, Ed, how did your 2 gigs go? Because I did one there with the Schumann a few weeks ago, and it was like it was just nice. People.
It was a nice show, but I was going to tell you this story about the shirt. Right, it was not this shirt. I think I'm going to have to burn the other shirt now. So
okay,
I call Jake from the Blues Brothers. The Blues Brothers act with Jake and Elwood, and we used to go around with the Bluesmobile. We had our own Bluesmobile and horn section and everything. And it was last Friday, and it was like 98 degrees. It was like blistering hot and humid. Like you get out of your car and you're like, oh, I'm dying. It's like walking in the exhaust of a bus, And so Jake isn't there, and Connecticut traffic is bad, and he lives in Fairfield. So I'm like, you know what? That bum, like, how come? Where is he? One gig we got, it's during the day. He didn't leave enough time. So I call him up. It's like 12 o'clock. And he's due on stage to start the show in 30 minutes. And I go, where are you? And he goes, oh, man, how you doing? I can't wait for the show tomorrow.
No.
And I go, the show tomorrow? And he goes, yeah, we're playing at Commons Park tomorrow. And I go, no, we're playing at Commons Park in 30 minutes. Where are you? He says, well, I'm in Stamford, which is the next town over.
That's not bad.
Get over.
But he's on a painting job, and he's covered in paint. He's a painter. He's a professional painter. I'm like, you're at a painting job, and you're covered in paint. And he goes, well, I got to go home, and I got to get my gear, and I got to take a shower. I go, you're on in half an hour. So I said, come here. We will figure this out. Just get here, right? And we have Billy Friends from Billy and the Showman playing guitar. And Billy says, I've got a spare guitar in my car and another input in my amp. And I had another shirt like this in my car. So, and Elwood had a hat and the glasses for the Blues Brothers. So Jake gets out of his painting truck with the ladders on the roof and everything, right? He gets out of the truck behind the stage. We're walking him to the microphone and putting the shirt on him and putting the hat and the glasses and dressing him up. And he walks up to the mic and he puts the guitar on and he turns around and he goes, so how you guys doing? And we're like, start the first song. And he goes, okay. And he's and boom. And we were good. and nobody knew.
Did he still have
Great
paint
story.
all over him?
Oh yeah, he had like the shorts. He had like painter's shorts on with paint, but it
So
kind
he
of
wasn't dressed as Jake.
But the shirt kind of looks like a painting accident anyway. Like the paint store blew up. That. So it worked. It definitely worked.
Nice. That's nice. Great story.
Great story. Yeah. Oh my God. And we were like, he was like, I'll just run to Fairfield and get my stuff and take a shower. I'm like, the show will be over before you get back home,
So where on the avenue is this? I know Greenwich Avenue, but I'm trying
Okay, so Arch Street cuts across Greenwich Avenue.
Yes.
It's just north of Arch Street, like
Okay.
100 yards north of Arch Street.
Got it. I think
in a park, beautiful park, and if you're around, are you back from Vermont?
No, I'm still up here. In fact, next week, I mean, I'd love to be there. I am driving next week, but I'm going to Maine to pick up a relative who can't drive themselves.
Right.
And bringing them to Vermont as a weekend guest, So, so it's it's a nice thing to be doing. But
absolutely. Well, you will be missed. You will be missed.
Thank you. I cannot wait to get back down there and get in person with you guys. God.
Exactly. All right, Ray Simonelli, play another song before you turn into a pumpkin.
Yeah, I have to run after this, but thank you, Ed, for including me and for the time considerations. I appreciate it. And I'm confirming my attendance right now for August 26th at the Boat Club, and then we're going to play again together the next morning or next afternoon in
That's
Greenwich
right.
Common Park.
How nice.
We'll make the 26th a lot of fun, weather permitting.
Good. Sounds good. All right, Ray, take it away.
If the sun refused to shine, I will still be loving you. When the mountains crumble to the sea, it will still be you and me. Kind woman, I'll give you my all. Kind woman, nothing more. Little drops of rain, whispers of the pain, nothing other days and days go by. Our love is strong, with you there is no wrong. Together we'll go on until we die. Inspiration is what you are to me. Inspiration, look, see. So today, my world, it smiles. Our hand reach out, we walk the mile. Thanks to you, it will be done. You and me, I'm the only one. This and happiness, I'm glad. And if the sun refused to shine, I will still be loving you. And when the mountains roll to the sea, it will still be you and me.
All right, there you go. A little Led Zeppelin for you. Like I always say, you have to have at least a little Led Zeppelin.
Heidi said she loves that song
Oh, okay.
in the chat.
That's great. Thanks. I appreciate that.
So
All
tonight,
right, guys. Hey, nice seeing all of you. I got to run.
Good to see you, Ray. I'm going to drink. I got my giant bottle of tequila here.
Oh my God! But yeah, I tell you, with a bottle that size, you could be talking a lot of nonsense by the end of the show.
Exactly. So good to see you, Ray.
All right, thank you, Ed. I'll talk to you soon. Take care, everybody.
All right, fantastic.
Okay. Be well.
Ray.
Hey, Ned, I got to hop off now too, unfortunately.
Dan, great to see you, and I hope to see you soon. It's nice to know you don't live in Arkansas or wherever I thought you lived.
Yeah, I'm amazed to hear that there were people in Texas and stuff participating in these productions. I didn't know that.
There was a guy. I assumed there was a guy in Japan. There were 2 people in Texas, as far as I know, and we have people on the show from Japan and from Europe and all that. But I thought I could have sworn that you were. I got it wrong. You know that you were from like South or West or something. It's nice to know you're local, and I look forward to meeting you soon.
It's the hair.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. Pleasure meeting you, Nick. And,
good to meet you, Dan. Look forward to meeting
again,
you.
Ed.
Great to see you.
Catch you again soon. Yep.
All the best.
All right, Nick Carter from Vermont. You're not even local.
No. I'm from the Green Mountain State.
Yeah.
For better or worse.
So how long you been up there? The whole summer?
Yeah, pretty much. I came back to Connecticut a couple times to check mail, pick up some things, and I guess I went back to since July 4th. I've been back twice, but it's been during the week at a time when I haven't been able to stop by you because that hasn't been on a Thursday,
right?
Or even a Wednesday to go check out our friend Frank Tosto. I just haven't been able to do it. So, I'm looking forward to getting back. It's nice up here. I had a gig last night at a restaurant. Played out the first time since before this fiasco began.
Right.
And it was a good gig. It was nice. Nice people. People were spaced out, so no one felt, I think, too uncomfortable. That all went.
They were spaced out, or they were spaced out.
It's a little bit of both, I think. Good distances between tables, but everybody seemed to enjoy the music. And yes, a few people I think got nicely spaced out. It was all good.
That's great. What are you gonna do for us today?
Well, we got a couple of them here. I've been playing around with. I thought I'd do in light of remembering this lovely gentleman who I didn't really have the pleasure of knowing. It's a wonderful song by John Hyatt called Through Your Hands. I played it for you before, but it's really nice. It's hopeful. It's got a lot of uplifting. So I'll start with that one.
Fantastic.
You were dreaming on a park bench by the broad highway somewhere, when the music from the carillon seemed to hurl your heart out there. Past the scientific darkness, past those fireflies that flow, to an angel bending down. Move the mic a little closer here. Here we go. To wrap you in her warmest coat. And you ask, what am I not doing? She said, your voice cannot command. She said, in time, you will move mountains, and it will come. Yes, it will come through your hands. Through your hands. Now we are here for an option, and you angle for your case. But you would not know a burning bush if it blew up in your face. Now we scheme about the future, and we dream about the past. With just a simple reaching out, we build a bridge that lasts. And you ask, what am I not doing? He said, your voice cannot command. She said, in time, you will move mountains, and it will come. Yes, it will come through your hands. Through your hands. So whatever your hands choose to do, you must do with all your heart. There are strange designs to blow men's minds and tear great worlds apart. But the healing touch will find you in that broad highway somewhere. And love will lift you higher than the wind in the angel's hair. And you ask, what am I not doing? She said, your voice will not command. She said, in time, you will move mountains, and it will come. Yes, it will come through your hands. Through your hands. Come through your hands. Through your hands.
Nice, great tune.
It's a great song. I think it's a song that put him on the map back in the early '90s, I think, or something.
Right.
And he's been around. He's done some great stuff, but that's a favorite.
Yeah. So who is that again for the audience?
John Hyatt. It's called "Through Your Hands."
Yeah, great,
I find
fantastic.
it works for all kinds of occasions, particularly one in remembering.
That's fantastic. You feel like doing two more for us?
Sure, I can do that. Let's
All right, do one more first.
Yeah. Would you say do one more first?
Yeah, don't do them at the same time. Do them sequentially. Yeah.
Well, you know, I am a Gemini. There are two of us here, you know. Okay. Here we go. We're gonna go back to the '70s. Loggins and Messina. Danny.
Oh, cool.
Song. How's that?
I got a story for you after you play
right.
that.
Perfect. People smile and tell me I'm the lucky one. We've just begun. I think I'm gonna have a son. He will be like she and me, free as the dove, conceived in love. Sun is gonna shine above. Even though we ain't got money, I'm so in love with you, honey, any day. Bring a chain of love. In the morning when I rise, you bring a tear of joy to my eyes and tell me everything gonna be alright. Oh, seems like just a month ago I was Beta Chi and I never got high. Oh, I was a sorry guy. But now I smile and face a girl who shares my name, and I'm done with the game. This boy will never be the same. Even though we ain't got money, I'm so in love with you, honey. Everything bring a chain of love. In the morning when I rise, you bring a tear of joy to my eyes and tell me everything is gonna be alright. Pisces, Virgo rising is a very good sign. Oh, it's strong and kind, and the little boy is mine. But now I see a family where there once was none. Now we're gonna fly to the sun. Oh, and we've just begun. Even though we ain't got money, I'm so in love with you, honey. Everything can bring a chain of love. In the morning when I rise, you bring a tear of joy to my eyes and tell me everything is gonna be alright. Love the girl who holds the world in a paper cup. Oh, you better drink it up. Love her and she'll bring you love. But if you find she helps you mind, better take her home. No, don't you live alone. Try to earn what lovers own. Even though we ain't got money, I'm so in love with you, honey. Everything to bring a chain of love. And in the morning when I rise, you bring a tear of joy to my eyes and tell me everything is gonna be alright.
Beautiful.
Yeah, thanks.
Look who we got.
Hey, look who's here. Hey, Holly, how are you?
Hey, Nick, how are you? Hey, Ed.
Hey. How you doing?
Doing?
Weird, right?
Yeah.
For the audience that's just joining and watching, we're talking about Mike Baumwall, who unfortunately passed away, and he was a big part of our musical lives, and certainly our online musical lives over the last couple of years. And he passed away a couple of days ago, and we're all just trying to figure it out, you know?
Yeah.
Very sad, right, Holly?
Yeah, just heartsick for his girls, really.
Yeah, right.
Right.
You know.
2 young daughters. Yeah, she's crazy. Hey, Tommy.
Hey, Tom.
Ed, hey, Holly, hey, Nick.
How are you?
Hey.
I'm all right, you know. I'm doing okay.
We've all been better, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nick didn't really know Mike. You know, Nick was like new to the party. You know, Nick, there's a lot of performers on Jam TV. We did like a 4-hour show. There were a lot of people who were on the beginning of the show that never really knew the people at the end of the show, and we all did music videos late. So Nick was like, "See you later," you know. So you never really got to know Mike, but you've seen the work, right? You've seen the videos that we do with Holly and all that on the internet, and it's just very, very weird to see this twist of fate with Mike passing away. It's very, very weird.
You know, he brought a lot of people together, you know, with the music and love and all that kind of stuff. And I remember being involved with the whole collaboration video and him and Dennis having that big playful camaraderie between each other where, you know, they do something and Dennis do something good, and then Mike would do something even bigger and blow it up and have like wild videos behind him and dancing girls and then horns, and there's like, oh, try and do something. They would play back and forth, and there was a lot of mutual respect and love and talking and sharing about the love of music and the whole community. And, you know,
that's absolutely right.
You know, and during the whole, hey Eric, hey man, how are you?
Everybody, how you doing?
I'm doing okay, man.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what happened is that, we all found ourselves in this pandemic thing, and Mike and I started fooling around with videos and making collaborative videos. And then a number of different little production companies popped up, and we're like, oh yeah, well, watch us do this crazy thing, and you guys were the quick and dirty, like, you watch us, we're going to do 3 videos in one day, and we're going to there it is,
Yeah.
and it would and Dennis would call me up and he would say, we got halfway into the video and then it just turned into a bus wreck, but we love it. And I'm like, okay,
We move on the seat of our pants, that's for sure.
Oh my God. We were all just trying to figure out how to survive in that crazy COVID world, interacting with each other this way on screens. And Mike made it pretty easy to do that. He made it because Jam TV was easier for a guy like Nick Carter because he could come on and we could solo him on the screen and he could be a troubadour and sing his song and all that, and Holly could do that. But people who played in bands were like, you're kind of out of luck. You're either going to come on as a solo artist, but you don't get to collaborate with people, which is such a big part of what we do. And Mike, kept that rolling.
And he was a giver, man. He gave of himself. He was the first one to reach out if you're having technical problems. Say, hey, man, did you try this or try that? Just really brought a lot of people together and played with a lot of different people, and really was great for the whole community in general. And just an all-around, as talented as he was just a really humble, sweet, beautiful guy. I mean, just
for real.
He's just a great guy.
It's true.
Yeah, it hurts.
I met him through Winston. I mean, Winston came wandering into Cobb's Mill Inn 100 years ago, and to the Jam, and he played in a band with then he started. I don't even know what the timing was, but Infinity Edge showed up, and they did a Friday thing, and then I met Mike, and we started talking. Mike was a musician like me, a musician, but also a gearhead, also he always had cameras set up and he always had audio recorders going, and he's like, oh, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that.
He was always the first person to be like, Holly, I need you to stand behind, you got a projector in your house, right? Stand behind that screen. Don't put anything on it. Wait, no, put this picture up. No, try this, try that. Oh my gosh.
That's right.
It was great.
That is true.
The videos are like his
legacy.
Yeah, I mean, he did
at least in our world.
Right?
Absolutely.
And that allowed us to focus on the music instead. We were able to focus on different parts of these last-minute production videos because Mikey, could compartmentalize what everybody needed to do.
Yeah, you just did your part and he handled the rest.
Right.
Sounds incredibly generous.
And Holly, man, some of those videos that we did with you were first of all, thank you for letting us play on these videos.
Thank you, guys.
That made the connection and I mean, he would call me up. I had a funny thing today. I posted it where he called me up and he goes, I want to do what's that traffic tune we did, the
Shanghai Noodle Factory,
right? He goes,
yeah,
and it's and he calls me up. He goes, hey, Carl, I got a great tune. I like it. Blah blah blah. You'd be play it. I need you to do an acoustic guitar, the fugue part. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, Holly's singing it. And of course I went, I'm in. All right, what do I need to do?
I remember he was like, how do you
what song are you
talking
about? What the hell is fugue? What is fugue? Talking about?
He was like, hey, he's like, how do you feel about Traffic? I was like, I love Traffic. And he goes, what about Shanghai? I was like, what? Okay, cool. Here we are.
What an unlikely song to do. And that's the one thing that what Mike did.
I thought that was your idea, Holly. I didn't know that was Mike.
Yeah, what Mike did was he would crack the whip and he would be like, all right, look, You know, and I would say, Mike, I don't know if we should do this one. Like, I don't know. Like, that's really hard. There's a lot of stuff going on in this song. And he'd be like, yeah, so we'll do it. And I was like, really? Like, okay. And then next thing you know, he's like calling him, all right, I need your track by this day, and you got to do this. You have to redo that. You have to whatever. And it all came together. You know, he was like the producer of the whole friggin' thing.
Yeah. It was amazing. I remember when I had no idea that he did. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Carl.
No, please, Holly, go ahead.
Go ahead, Holly.
I had no idea that.
We have a delay. All right, you two yahoos have been drinking too much of this.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Holly. Sorry.
Okay, for real. Me?
Yeah.
Him, me. I'm kidding. No, I didn't realize that he was involved in graphic design. And I just kind of put an APB out to my friends list, and I said, listen, I'm looking for a new logo for a band design. And he's like, hello, we've been doing videos together for how long, and you didn't know that I did this? And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. What do you want to? What have you got in mind? Let's talk. Let's chat. And he designed the logo for the band and the mini logo. He designed the album cover, which although the album title is in process of changing, doesn't matter. Like everything else is going to stay the same, and that's just when you're I don't know, I feel like there are givers and there are takers in the world, and when you meet a genuine giver and that wall kind of comes down and you're like, oh, let's do this, let's create, let's make this, let's make that. Mm-hmm. It's a really beautiful thing. And to see somebody who was so proud of his girls and so proud of what they were doing with their lives, I hope they know how much their dad loved them, because he really did. It shone through in everything that he did.
Right.
So we're just super lucky to have been exposed to him for the short amount of time that we were. And it's our job to take that light that he gave us and shine it forward, man. That's all we can do.
Right. That's the truth. That is the truth.
Yeah.
Amen.
Well said.
Yeah. I mean, Mikey was the kindest and most selfless person, and that's the theme from everybody that I'm talking to. Just reiterating what Holly just said, and it's I've been thinking about, like, if there's any silver lining out of this, it's that maybe we'll all work that much harder to be as kind, and as selfless.
100%.
So, amen to that. That's a great.
They froze. Say that again, Carl.
In the right way,
Say that again, Carl.
Just pick up the bug. He pulled me. I mean, honestly, we were thinking about it. Vince and I were going down memory lane, listening to some of our old videos and stuff like that, and just the connection with all the different folks, and in such a weird way, like such a kind way, but like you said, Ed, a crack the whip way, because what I was going to say earlier with Holly was I talked to my son Nick and Andrew who expressed their condolences, when they heard about this, and Nick was like, oh man, I feel so bad because the last time I talked to him, I'm not on the video. I feel like I was really mad at him because he was like busted my balls to finish, whatever that was, school days or whatever they did. And he's like, okay, I'll get it to you. Okay, thanks a lot. And he was, both, Nick and Andrew were like really, sad, as we all are, to hear about this. And we're glad to be able to, again, a connector. He connected my kids playing on videos he did. I mean, that's freaking amazing,
Honestly,
so
yeah,
it's all cool.
I can't believe you guys did school days. You know, honestly, right? That was a real
Yeah, it was crazy. He would
I didn't
say,
do it, but
I
Nick
would
did.
say to him, no, we're not
like,
doing that
yes,
song.
yeah.
You can't do it. It can't be done. And he'd be like, no, we're doing it. We're doing
Oh
it.
my God. When he was like, how do you feel about Zeppelin? I was like, what Zeppelin? I'm afraid. He was like, this one. I was like, oh God, that's scraping the ceilings, but
Yeah, really, really funny. And School Days, he and I had a big fight about School Days. Like, so we first wanted to do School Days, and I was like, it can't be done. It can't be done. It's too hard. It's
I
too
remember
complicated.
this.
Whatever.
I remember this. Yeah.
And he was like, all right. So finally, he beat me down, and he was like, "You're all right, fine, I'll do it." So I spent like 8 hours learning all the parts and recording the parts, and I don't know why, but I decided to do it in my pajamas. I was like, okay, so we're in COVID and we're all sitting home with no pants on, you know, so I might as well show everybody what I really look like. And I performed the song on my sofa back here with my Angry Birds pajamas, right? and like my hair was all weird and whatever. I had the long hair from the pandemic, and I do it, and it came out okay. And I send him the tracks, and he goes, "I don't like it. You have to redo it." And I said, "I'm not redoing it. I didn't want to do it to begin with." And he went, "You have to redo it." And so we thought about it, and I went, "I'm not redoing it. I'm putting my foot down. You're gonna use what I sent you." And then he's like, "Fine, I'll have Heidi do it." And I was like, "Fine, have Heidi do it." So then Heidi did it. Yeah.
Amazing.
There are tracks of me doing that song.
oh my God.
Out there.
Oh no, I remember.
We were fighting tooth and nail.
No,
we were
I
like,
literally look. You're disclosing all this. I would bring this up, but he called me and he's like, "Hey, Carl." I'm like, "Yeah," and I was a little bummed that I could never do what Christian did on the guitar, you know, for that song. And I'm like, "Dude, you didn't call me for that," you know. And I was busting his balls, going, and he's like, "Oh, I'm really sorry." And I go, "No, I can never do that." Anyway, so he was like, and he goes, "Yeah, Nick is doing it." I go, "Great," and he goes, "You know, but Ed sent this video. He's like in his pajamas, and he goes, I don't know if I don't like the look."
It was awesome, and he didn't like
talking
it.
about it. I was like, "Whatever you want to do, bro. Whatever you want to do."
You know what I think? I think he thought that
I got to tell you, because
I was going to say, I think that he thought that I was giving him like a fuck you by wearing the pajamas. like, because we argued. I didn't want to do the song to begin with. He's like,
he
we
thought
have
you
to
were
do it. You know?
Oh my God.
That's
Excuse
impressive.
me, I'm so cool. I could just play
What
School
came
Days
out
in my
of this
pajamas.
was that Heidi did a kick-ass job on that song.
Yes, she did.
Very true.
I actually
Speaking of whom, there's Heidi.
Heidi.
There's Heidi.
right there. Hi, Heidi. Hey.
Exactly.
Heidi Ho.
Yeah, Heidi played the keyboard parts and killed it on that song.
Yeah, she did.
After Mike killed me for not liking my stuff on the song, I got fired for Heidi. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
I knew part of the story. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
You're
I
gonna have
knew
to
part
dress
of
up next
it,
time.
and I said, I don't know if I shouldn't be
How's your
involved.
wrist?
Oh, I'm in therapy all the time. Here's my hold on. There's my incision. It's getting better. Anyway, it's getting better. But I can't close my hands. That's the problem. We're working on this. I'm here.
Right.
I said to Mike, I said, I don't want to have any hard feelings. If I'm involved in something, I need to be able to see Ed and be like friendly and not have this between us. He's like, no, Ed doesn't care. Ed doesn't want to do it again.
Oh, we thought about it. That song, there was so much drama behind the scenes. At the beginning, we thought, and then he got my footage and he looked at it and he was like, I don't like it. You have to I was like, what? And then you nailed it, Heidi. You just killed it on the parts. And I'm so glad you did it because like 1 second later, you fell and broke your hand. So at least you got to do that part.
Oh, shit.
It was horrible, and had stupid surgery. I mean, I dislocated it. I have pictures of what it was looking like, so it looked a lot better.
I saw the pictures of the inside of your wrist. Okay, I saw them.
Yeah.
Oh my God, terrible.
I'm
Anyway.
smiling. I can't stop crying. It's been horrible.
I know.
With the whole 25 years of
Heidi,
exactly.
wait, you knew Mikey. You knew Mikey
long time ago.
Say that again.
Where did you meet Mike?
I met Mike because Mike.
Where did you meet Mike?
Here's
Because I think you're like the oldest.
The oldest friends are Tori and Christine Marie. They've known him since like college and high school. And I met Mike in the 90s when he had a band called Wet Money that he put together. But I met Dave Fogelman before that band even was put together. And this is going way back. Mike was not married or anything like that. I went to Mike's wedding. What's that? What was that? Oh, I didn't hear. Anyway.
Oh, I just said hey to Christian who just joined.
Oh, hi.
Hey, Christian. You're muted, man. Your mic is off, Christian.
So the band that got formed, I met Dave, and then I met Mike when the band had formed. Well, here's the crazy story. They had a band that played out, and I even saw them play out. I didn't know their lead singer. It was a guy, and I ended up being hired to replace that guy months later. That guy and I met. That guy and I got married. That guy died of cancer. Oh. Mike was my friend throughout
Wait, what just happened?
Oh, wow.
That was not a funny thing, you guys. You guys are having too much of this.
They're watching something else.
Sorry.
Wow, Heidi.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's the way I said it.
No. They've got a really bad delay, you guys. They're getting a super duper delay after all of us are getting it. Then they're getting it. So they were laughing at the "you married the guy," and then it just happened to come when the rest of us heard.
Yeah, there's some wonky internet stuff going on.
So
not their fault.
I ended up with them in a band called Mother Moses, and that was how we became really close friends. And that was a couple of years that we were together. And then it turns out, same time all this was happening, and I was going to rehearsal at Mike's apartment on 18th Street. I used to come from school where I was teaching. And one day it came up that I was teaching at such and such school, which happens to be where Lisa teaches. And I knew his sister, and we were teaching that whole time in the same. I had her kids in my class, like her students. And she knew I was in a band. She didn't know it was her brother's band. And I didn't know that Lisa was Mike's. So there were multiple connections, and and Mike, just so you know, Mike is, and some of you might know them, might know this. Mike's parents are amazing people. So it's not surprising. Both Lisa and Mike are just beautiful human beings and wonderful people. Parents are great. It's just, I just can't. And he's been a great friend forever.
Yeah.
Have you been in touch with his family?
Just on Facebook. I'm not. Yeah. I know, like Liz, for example, isn't talking to anybody right now, not taking calls. Liz's wife.
Because their heads are spinning. You know, you think our heads are spinning? Yeah. Like they're just like in a crisis mode right now. So.
And I, you were talking about people dying before. I lost my parents by the time I was 29 and 32. And then I got married to the former lead singer of the band that I joined with Mike, which was their friend. And he passed away. He was only 34. So, like, I've had this experience, and I was a young widow, but I didn't have children. So I just, like you were saying, Holly, I just keep thinking about those girls.
I can't imagine me if I'd I'm very lucky. I'm 40 and I still have my father. My bestest friend lost her dad when she was 16 and I was 15, and it ripped her up. She was never the same. And there's such a special bond between a father and daughter. My heart really, really goes out to them, and I hope one day they understand what an impact their dad had on so many people. I mean, his ripple effect was effervescent, and it will be. I mean, it'll just keep going forever as long as we keep it rolling.
That's right. That's right. All right, look, everybody, we're going to take a very short break. Everybody hang around. Don't go anywhere. I'm going to have Nick Carter do one more song for Mike, and then I'm going to bring all you guys back on, and we'll continue this conversation. Stand by. Nick Carter, boy, you know, you certainly got like dumped into the Mike Baumwall situation because you don't even know Mike, but
it's okay. It's wonderful to hear healing going on amid the pain, because
absolutely
that conversation that I witnessed is a bunch of, and I hope those friends are listening in.
They are.
And God bless you guys for having had such the gift of Mike in your life. I had a very dear friend named Doug who died of a pulmonary embolism about 16 years ago. Doug understood my love of music before a lot of other people ever did. And when I lost Doug, Sue, my wife, is my best friend, but Doug was the very close second. Doug had my back all the time. Sure. And, you know, we'd be apart for months and years, and the conversation would click up. And I can only imagine what Mike means to you guys. Ed, thanks for this last shot at the song. This is a song called Handrail in the Dark, and it's about healing. And I dug it up while I was listening to everybody share their pain. And I hope you all, at least take some solace in it. It's about healing.
Take it away.
Sure. Just tell me you're okay. I think I know what happened here. The roof is caved in on your life. Your heart got caught in there. You're on shaky ground. But before the world starts crashing down, let me help you past that broken glass, safe and sound. And when worry blinds your heart and faith falls apart, and the night hits too hard, I'll be your handrail in the dark, take you where you've never been. Make a brand new start, never be afraid again. In the dark, just reach across the space between us, and I'll be there, your handrail in the dark. We'll build promises into living things and put up a home of stone and stories we believe. And we'll meet in the middle, and we'll get rid of the riddles and leave breathing room for when we disagree. And when worry blinds your heart and faith falls apart, and the night hits too hard, I'll be your handrail in the dark, take you where you've never been. Make a brand new start, never be afraid again. In the dark, just reach across the space between us, and I'll be there, your handrail in the dark. I'll be there, your handrail in the dark. I'll be there, your handrail in the dark. You'll say you'll never be the same, but love still knows your name, and I'll take you where you have never been. Make a brand new start, never be afraid again. In the dark, just reach across the space between us, and I'll be there. I'll be there. I'll be there, your handrail in the dark. I'll be there, your handrail in the dark. Let me take you there, your handrail in the dark.
Fantastic, Nick Carter. Fantastic. Really, it's definitely a touching song at a time like this.
Yeah.
Thanks for doing for us.
Glad to be here for it, and thanks for including me. My best and blessings to all of you who knew him so well.
And I will see you soon. And we're going to get back to everybody talking about Mike Baumwall and the very unfortunate situation of losing him. And I will see you soon, Nick.
Bye-bye. Take care.
It's my time and I'm coming out to play. Get on that beat, I wanna misbehave. Yeah, go, look at me, go, make me wanna fly all the time. I'm shining now, makes no difference if the world.
There we are.
Back again.
Who do we have here? We got Heidi, we got Christian, we got Karen, John Stone. How you doing, Karen? Shelley Welsh?
Hi, Ed. Hello.
Hey, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for including us.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
I gotta edit this name.
Hi, Winston.
Hey. Hang on. I'll get you out from behind that banner there, Eric. There we go.
Thanks,
my God.
Appreciate it, man.
So, you know, all you guys, I saw you all with Mike, you know, a couple of weeks ago at Joey C's doing a show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a good show, too. It was a really good show.
And, you know, Mike wanted me to come down and film so he could make videos and get that out. You know, it's like, it's not enough that he's playing a show. He's got to I got to make a whole production out of it. You know,
he was the quickest at turning things around. I mean, like the night of the gig, we would have all kinds of notes from him about, hey, you know, we were rushing the beer, or you know.
Yeah.
What you missed the skank, Eric. You went straight. You didn't give me a chucka, you know, like whatever it was.
Look what we got. So I'm gonna have to tell you, this is Randy Stone and his compadre in the Rough Dogs. They're at a rehearsal and they wanted to see him in and make it happen.
Hi,
and we gotta bring. We're trying to get Karen back. You know, like we're trying to beam her in. There she is.
Hey.
Yeah.
There she is. I see a picture. Sure.
All right, so we're in the famous jam basement at my house, where literally Mike was here about 7 or 10 days ago, sucking down rosé.
I'm gonna try to get a wider, will this be a wider shot of us?
Hold on.
Better?
Hey, Carl, shut up.
I can get on my microphone. Can you hear me?
Oh my God! All right, there we go. Yeah, so keep going, Randy. Keep talking.
All right, so this is the Rough Dogs. And Linda obviously was in several of the videos that Mike did and played with Mike many times, and many of the members in Rocksteady Collective. Hi, gang. I've got also to the side here Skip Rooney and Chris Haynes, who are part of Rocks. We have no drummer tonight, and we have one song that we think we can pull off that's as close to reggae as we get.
Do it.
All right.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Can't believe it's so. I know that's the way it'll be. Never been laid so low in such a mysterious way. In the course of a lifetime, over and over again. Well, I would not give it all so on this crazy wonderful day. But another child reunion is on the emotional way. Oh, little darling, I need it so. I know it says things to stay. I've never been late so low. It's such a mysterious way. In the course of a lifetime, over and over again. Well, I would not give before so on this strange and wonderful day. But the mother and child reunion is on the emotional way. Well, a mother and child reunion is on the emotional way. It's another child reunion is on the emotional way.
That's for you, Mike.
That's for Mikey.
There you go,
Man,
Mike.
Woo! Rock it out up there, man.
There you go.
boy, we got everybody here. Great to see you guys. Thanks for
Did that come
joining.
through at all?
Thanks for having me.
It
That
came
was great.
through.
All right. All right,
That
then
was
we'll make
great.
room in the studio. To my bandmates, love you guys. I'll be
Thanks
talking to
for
you soon.
coming and joining us for this to play something for Mike. That was really, really great.
No, he was just here. I
Yes,
did
Randy.
here literally. So, and
Yeah.
I miss you guys. I'll talk to you.
All right. More to come.
All right,
There you
Randy.
go. Hey, everybody. Got Christine Cook here.
Hi, Christine.
Hi.
Randy
Shelby
Stone.
Wells.
Hey, Christine.
Hello. Hi, Eric. So sorry.
How
My
you doing?
condolences to everybody on this panel right here.
Yeah. I mean,
I
I swear I have not processed this yet.
Me
I mean, some of you seem to have like immediately it's a reality. For me, I'm like, no, he's still gonna send me an email and
No,
like,
not at all.
whew.
Yeah, it's harsh.
Not at all, bro. We're envisioning our next rehearsal and seeing Mike there. You know, I mean,
Right.
this
You
is
know,
really tough. It's really
the
tough.
repercussions haven't settled in yet. What's going to happen yet? And I will tell you this. I will tell you this. You know, in recent months, Mike has been like the powerhouse with Last Minute Productions. But when he and I started Last Minute Productions last year, we worked together hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours. And I mean, not like the music stuff, like the playing of the drums and the playing of the keyboards was like the least of what we were doing. Like that was the fun part. And then we would spend hours and hours and dozens of hours working on these songs and developing systems to do this and all that stuff. And I promise all of you that will continue this winter. We're still going to do collaborative videos. And you know, I'll need some help, but we'll get some people together and we're gonna do more of this. There's no way we're stopping the work of Last Minute Productions. We're gonna keep it going.
That's great to hear.
It's a good
I
legacy.
hope not. That'd be great.
But I'm not going to be as tough as Mike. I'm not going to be the guy
Mike,
like,
you know,
you've got to
Richard and I-
do it, or you know.
I find it kind of funny that all you guys are talking about how tough he was. He was really easy with me.
Oh my God, no! He would yell at me, and I would yell at him. We would fight. I was like, he'd be like, "Oh yeah, I did a rough mix on the audio, and I sent it over." And I'm like, "What a piece of shit! Oh my God, what are you doing?" He's like, "I thought it was pretty good. I spent 10 hours on it." I was like,
It's
he
so
fired
funny.
me off songs. He was like, "No, I don't like your part. You have to redo it." I'm like, "I'm not doing it." You know, like we used to fight.
I only met him in the real world once because I knew him online, and then I went to go see him when Eric played at Captain's Cove in Bridgeport.
Oh, right.
And I walked up to him and I gave him a great big hug. It's so great to finally see you in person. And what struck me was just a real gentle nature and just really that impish grin and just that nice energy to be around. It's like, man,
Oh,
you're
for
just
real, yeah.
such as cool in the real world you are virtually. But he never struck me as a guy who could be. I'm sure he could be tough behind the scenes, but he
Oh
was
my
a
God.
sweetheart. I loved him.
You know, he was the nicest guy. I mean, that was my experience with him was like, 98% awesome. And like, we would go, because, it's like birthing babies. Making videos is like birthing. It's ugly
He was
business.
the nicest ball buster in the world. Oh, he's the nicest ball buster because he'd go, "Hey man, that was so good, but can I get this by in an hour?" You know,
Right.
So really
and then
great.
if he didn't respond, he'd go, "Did you get my last email? Did you get this?" You know, it's great.
Wednesday, I bet you have some stories about that
We
too.
had some collaboration videos that had huge numbers.
Hi, Jason.
Go ahead, Shelly.
Well, I was just saying, I bet you have some stories on that too, because on Little by Little, he had some things to say about one of your sax solos, didn't he?
Yeah, he liked it.
Can you tell me that?
He loved it, right?
He loved it.
Oh yeah.
So wait, Eric, I have a question for Eric.
Yeah.
Were you that guy that like in school, if they gave you an assignment and they said it's due on like Friday, September 9th, you had it in on Wednesday? Because if you were that guy, then Mike loved you. But see, for me, it was like, if it's Friday, I'd say, Mike, do you need it Friday or Thursday? Because he called me all day Thursday to see if I was doing it on, if you were early, like JC, he used to say, he gives me his tracks immediately.
No, it's worse than that. JC is worse than that. Let me tell you what working with JC is like, right? So the first project that we did, the first one we ever did, and I thought that it was Mike's idea, and Mike later told me it was my idea, and I was like, "Oh, wait a minute, it was my idea." So it was an organ trio. I mean, impossible, right? It was Mike's idea, an organ trio version of "Tower of Power." What is hip? Right,
Oh, yeah.
Which is a really hard song, right? And so, like, he told me that, and I was like, "Oh, I don't think you could do that. That's really hard. Like, how do I play all those parts? Whatever." And so he gets JC involved, right? And he says, "JC, we want you to do What Is Hip on the, we're going to do this collaboration thing. We're going to do it." And then, like 10 minutes later, the phone goes ding, and it's like, he finished the track in 10 minutes. It's 8 minutes long. How did he do that? And then
I heard that from him about JC. It was the way he put pressure on me that way. He'd say, "Oh, I already have this track and that track. Oh, JC gave it to me like right away," and that's how. And then I'd say, "Listen, I need to know what the deadline is, and I'll get it to you like the day before that or something. But I need to have a date. If you don't give me the date, who knows? I might not get to it at all or whatever."
Yep. But I poisoned all the well. I will confess that I poisoned the well on this thing because, like, Mike would say, "Okay, listen, we need to give people time. They got to learn the material and get it done." I said, No. We're not doing that. Very early on, I said to him, if you say it's 2 weeks, they will start in 2 weeks. They won't do anything for 2 weeks. And they'll think about it, but they won't do anything. And then they'll start the next day after it's due, right? And then Mike was like, "Well, what do I do?" And I'm like, "You need to tell them. Get on it and do it, whatever." So that's what he started being. Then he stared doing it to me,
So Heidi, to answer your question, no, I wasn't that guy in high school, and I'm certainly not as fast as JC. JC's masterful, so he could crank out anything at any time. But I was determined, especially when we did Blue Sky, to get it done in a certain time frame, because we had to sequentially figure out, okay, here's the rhythm guitar tracks, and I wanted to get the whole take. So it took me like literally 63 tries to get one lead guitar take, and but I finally sent it to him before everybody else got their stuff in. So I think that's why he liked it.
Right.
Yeah.
But you know what? You're a perfectionist too. You're a perfectionist.
I'm a masochist.
When you sent him the track, he didn't come back and go, "I don't like it. You have to redo it," which he did to me all the time. All the time. I spent like 4 hours, and he'd be like, "I don't like it. You have to redo it."
Did you just mail it in, Ed?
Oh my God, no. It was like a couple of songs. It was like one take, I'm done. But like 90% of the songs, it was like take 47. Like after that, you can't even do it,
But Ed, by the way, your name was at the top of the list. So this is what I would hear, that this person is done, this person's done, and you have this day. But we have to have it for Ed, because Ed needs to do such and such, and he wants to put it on the show on such and such date.
Yeah.
So in my mind, I wasn't doing this for Mike, which I was like, I was now doing it for you.
All right, so here's the truth. I'll tell you, that might be true, and I'll tell you the truth about that. The joke that I live my life by certain jokes, right? That's how I live my life. And one of the jokes that I live my life by is that the two hunters are in the woods, and they have the binoculars, right? And they're looking out, and they see the grizzly bear a mile away, and he's running towards them. And they the one guy starts running away, right? Like, run, that grizzly bear is coming towards us, right? And the other guy stops, and he gets out his running shoes out of his bag. And the guy goes, there's no way that you can outrun that bear. And he said, no, I just have to outrun you. And so the reason I would always get my parts done like 2 days in advance. It was like not 2 weeks, but it was 2 days in advance, so that he could then like bug everybody, like, "Hey, Ed's done. You need to get your tracks done."
Right.
That's all I was. I wasn't going to get accused of being the slacker,
Right.
Well, I definitely made the last minute. I was part of the last minute people.
Last minute production.
I was part of it, and I was lucky enough to do 2 things with Mike, and the last one where Shelley was, the dancer, Long Way to the Top. Last minute I was getting, and I came home from work and I was exhausted, and that's a 5-minute long song, and I danced my ass off, like sweating, and did 3 takes. So I did like 15 minutes worth of like hardcore dancing, and I sent it off to him at like 11 o'clock. So I was one of those last minute people.
That's right.
What a joy. He would ask, "Are you, no worries, whenever you get to it," but then like, you got it.
Yeah. Right. But see, Heidi would do this stuff. Heidi is a perfectionist as well, like Eric, right?
Yeah.
Heidi's like, I know you asked me to do the vocal part and a harmony, but I did 8 harmonies. I did 8 different harmonies.
Wow.
And then I did another 12 for this section,
Yeah.
Well, I was kind of last minute, just because like I was either the harmony or the lead vocalist, and you guys all had to have your stuff done before I could get mine done. Right. But his only worry was like I'm like, okay, so what do I wear? He's like, wear something bright and sexy, so that was his only concern.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to play that video. I happen to have it here, the video of you singing, Shelley, the Little by Little song.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to play that right now. Hang on. Check it out, everybody.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
Yeah.
For the audience members, everybody on the screen knows this, but for the audience members that don't know, none of those people were in the same room. They were all playing along with a backing track. It all had to get stitched together meticulously. And like those hits at the end, that's impossible. What happened there was actually not possible, and somehow it became possible. And Mike played a giant role in all of that. So
Yeah, and Winston had like I think you heard his voice like in 3 parts there.
Right.
We actually went to a recording studio to do that.
Oh, wow.
And they like tripled his voice so it would sound a little more full. So
Right.
that was really cool.
Modern
So cool.
trickery.
Yeah.
You know what's great about those collaborative videos is like it makes everybody a better musician because you have to lock in.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
It's been awesome to see everybody at the jams, how great everybody's playing. You know, whether it's the Tuesday night open jam or Frank's Frank's thing on Wednesdays. It's just awesome, and it was so wonderful that Mikey and you, Ed, both of you guys were such a big part of bringing so many people together on that. It's fantastic.
Yeah, thanks.
And what we were thinking about is how do we bring the best out of this community of musicians, right? So when we're talking about doing Little by Little, so you have to know the background for Little by Little is that we played it really poorly a bunch of times with Shelley at several different venues. And I was like, Shelley, someday we're going to play this song well. Someday. And I said to Mikey, look, we owe it to Shelley to play this song well someday. Let's do this song. And the other thing was, like, Mike and me realized that if we brought Shelley into the studio and did the vocals in a really nice way, that it would add the excitement to the song that we needed to offset the instrumental parts that we worked so hard on, right? So, the thing about the collaboration videos is that you could reach out to the different folks for what they were good at, right? And what would excite them, and what you could focus on one song and part right. And that was fun to do, and that was we wouldn't have gotten without COVID. So
yeah, it's true.
I'm sorry, but it's true. Without COVID, we wouldn't have done that.
Yeah,
That's right.
You know what? It's also really super nerve-wracking too. When you play live, we need a clam. You just play through it. When you're doing your separate tracks, if you hit a clam, you hit a bad note, you got to do it over again and over again. You're really hard on yourself, and something that should take 5 minutes can sometimes
Clams are a big part of the.
And then you're trying to do harmonies and trying this and that. So it's kind of like
I can tell you,
And you're trying to film it at the same time,
Oh, yeah, man, it's a bear. It's a bear.
I'm gonna get off. But
I know.
I wanted to get on here because I love Mike, and I know you all do, and I wanted to express my condolences and just say how grateful I am to have played with him live with Jambox Jukes, and also I actually went to a jam with at his cousin's house. I don't remember what town it was.
David's house.
I don't remember.
Bass player.
Okay. But I just wanted, when I saw the invite to this, I felt just compelled to come here to just, express my love for him and my gratitude for knowing him and how supportive and enthusiastic and passionate he was. Just practicing, for live things together. And then Winston, like you said, picking things that, people love and do best. And Dale and I did a collaboration to a Steve Miller, Take the Money and Run. And that grew out of, it's one of my favorite memories of my life. I had posted some Steve Miller song on my wall, and it turned into a all night Steve Miller back and forth with Mike and I on Facebook, and then it went off Facebook. We're like, how about the skate? How about, in the winter time? And we went everything. And then that song, he's like, how about we'll do a video of it? And that sounds great. And so, yeah, he was just so passionate and so supportive and just a beautiful, beautiful soul. And I am still in a daze. I am still in a daze. I am, and I know it's true, but I don't know. I just wanted to say, give all of you my love, because I know that you're all hurting, and that's all. Just give Mike.
Amen.
Amen.
I've been talking to him all day anyway, and to his family.
That's so nice.
And Ed, thanks for gathering us all here.
Yeah.
Good to see you, Christine. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for coming on.
Bye.
Good to see you.
All right. See you later.
Hey, Christine. Hey, listen. By the way, I just want to say that was lovely, like amazing. And I remember this whole story that Mike called me, and he goes, because I think, he goes, can you and your kids play on this song? And it was like,
right.
Sure. What is it? It was Take the Money and Run. And he goes, I go, yeah, whatever, and he said, oh, something didn't work out with whatever. But, I'm just going to throw this out there for Mike. Was like, what a great connector. Because he was like, you and your kids, you could play, you're come in and do this tune. And it was like a beautiful experience. You guys, you actually did a great little video thing like that we could play along with. It was great. And he brought in all my kids to do it, and
so cool.
So, and that's a treasure I have with him and a treasure I have with you. So thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
All right, Christine. I'll see you later. Good to see you.
Okay.
Bye.
Nice. Nice. Who else has a story?
I mean, the only story I have is about how we met, which Ed, you were a very integral part of, because
we got lots of stories, man.
The jam, yeah, we do. But the one that's sticking out for me is how Mikey reached out to me after watching me perform "Stuck Inside a Mobile" when you made the transition to the Boathouse for your open jam. And he's like, and called me up and he's like, hey man, that was amazing. That was awesome. Mikey all enthusiastic and like, hey, I'd love to jam. Let's talk. Let's get together. And we put together a set list of stuff. And I went over to his cousin's house and we jammed for like 3 hours one Sunday. And friends ever since. The next thing you know, it's COVID and he's pulling us into all these collaborative videos. And man, what a great soul. What a great soul. His heart is the ultimate unifier. Like his heart is so pure that he just brings us all together. And I mean, man, we've just got to continue in that path. We should all learn from that, Just be open, people.
Yeah, I agree, Eric. I think I mentioned this yesterday or whatever, but he called me after he heard you play that song, and we talked about it yesterday. And he was, you and I talked about it yesterday, and he called me. And goes, Carl, there's this guy. Ever you play that? I go, oh, wait a minute, that's my favorite Dylan song, and yada yada yada, and it was great. Again, like he was a great connector. So that's totally awesome.
That's absolutely right. So we got Hank who joined us, and ironically, we can't see you, Hank.
Oh, you can't?
No, because you have all the lights off in your friggin' house.
Oh, hang on 1 second.
We see you a little, like we see your glow that is you.
There you go. How's that?
It must be nice not to have lights on all day. Oh my God. The glow that is you. Yeah, now we got you. How you doing? Hank?
Good. How's it going, man?
Good to see you. Now my voice is echoing fiercely. Everybody turn your radio down a little bit.
Yeah.
How you doing? But,
I'm not doing too bad. I'm doing pretty good.
That's good. Yeah, so, unfortunately, we all miss Mike. That's what we're talking about on the show today.
I'm not doing too bad. I'm doing pretty good.
That's good. Somebody's echoing. I think, let me see if it's Hank echoing. Hold on 1 second. I got a technical thing to do. Yeah, turn your speakers off, Hank. Use your headphones, not your speakers, Hank. There we go. So who's got a story? Well, actually, Eric, can you play us a song? Oh, you're muted. You muted yourself. There you go.
I could play a song. What would you guys like to hear?
I don't know. Play something awesome. I don't know. Let's
do that.
I have another question for Eric.
Another
question for Eric.
What? Who's got a question for me? Heidi?
I have a question for Eric. Eric,
What's that?
I had asked before. Somebody said they went to Mike's cousin. When you went to play with the cousin, was it David?
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe bass player.
I just wanted to tell you that David and Mike were in that early band I was talking about with me when we had Mother Moses. They were like 27, 26 years old at the time.
Yeah.
And he was in our band also. I just wanted to tell you. So that's like an old, yeah.
We had a great day. I mean, David was David was just like Mike. The two of them were like, the perfect rhythm team because they were so enthusiastic about every note. It was a lot of fun.
I haven't seen David since Mike's wedding. Mike, I just saw in June. I went to New York and I saw Mike, but I haven't seen David in years and years.
Well, you should. I guess now's as good a time as any, right?
I posted pictures of that band, and there's pictures of Mike. I don't know if you saw any of them. Mike from way back then playing drums, and Dave, and so they're on Facebook. And part of my little tribute to Mike and some past history. But,
that's great. That's great to know. It helps to make to complete the picture a little bit more. I'm gonna play to Carl's suggestion. I'm gonna play a Dennis Brown song that we Rocksteady Collective did at the last show. We didn't rehearse it. We just rocked it out at the show. It's a really simple tune, and it's kind of repetitive lyrically, but it's really Mikey just loved the groove in this song. So, Mikey, this one's for you, brother. Love and hate can never be friends, oh no. Oh no. Here I come with love and not hatred. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow the days of my life. And envy no one, no wish to be no evil man. Because there'll come a day when you'll be whipped by the Father's hand. Oh, live up, roots, children. Oh, live up, Rasta children. Here comes a stuck line for you guys. My head is anointed, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow all the days of my life. And envy no one, no wish to be no evil man. For there'll come the day when you'll be whipped by the Father's hand. And live up, Rasta children. Live up, roots, children. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah, ooh. And it goes on, and we, we jam it out. That what they call the stuck line in reggae is he really loved. Like when we got into this group and everybody was playing this little rhythm of where we're going.
Yeah.
Like the whole band's grooving on that. And I looked over at Mikey while I was playing it, and his face was just lit up. He's just rocking the beat. He's giving us a little steppers on the rhythm, and the smile on his face just like lit up the whole place, man. It was amazing. He's absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's
that's
absolutely
funny.
right.
You know, I was playing with him because he just loved every single note. He was so glad to be there with you live and sharing vibes and sharing energy and, you know, improvising, you know, and he was wicked. He did some great drum solos that I hope we can get some of the video of and post.
Oh yeah, there's going to be a lot more. This happened all so quickly. You know, tonight we're just going to sort of be together and get this off our chests a little bit, and in the future, I mean, I've got some videos to play, some extra ones for Mike, but you know, Mike will continue to be a big part of the show with all of his work, and
amen.
And
You
we
know-
will continue to make videos. You know, we're going to keep going.
One thing that I was always just very appreciative of him is his humility and his he was so easy, and this was demonstrated when he was looking for his logo, his brand logo. And you know, he first put up this shield with a little conga, a little this, a little that, and they were so little, and you couldn't, you know, but he put it out there. Hey, what do you guys think of this? What, you know, and he went through this whole exercise for a few days of letting his friends and Facebook people give him constructive criticism, and he listened, and he came up with what I felt was the best. Like, I loved, you know, I loved his final product, and I felt, and I you know, sent him some messages on, you know, just private messages, you know, because to me, you know, if you're going to be involved in that, you know, I don't want people to be like, oh, you know, that was bad to say, or, you know, oh, you're criticizing, or, you know, it's just,
Sure.
it was just one of those things where I think that people, he welcomed the feedback, and that was so humble to me, and selfless, you know, like he was looking for, you know, he's the dude, he's the pro, but he came to us to get feedback, and I just thought that was so him, so Mike, you know.
Truly.
So that's my story. I mean, I've, like Carl said, you know, I've played with him a few times over the years, but then when he you know, called me and asked me to do a little dancing, and then he asked me to do the backups with Eric, and then, you know, Winston's like, let's do little by little. It was kind of like a little reunion with him, and you know, so I was really grateful. I am really grateful the time that I did get to connect with him again. So
absolutely, yeah. Thanks for sharing that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing.
I
Well,
have
what
to
about
say,
you, Christian Dreyer? Tell me about your beginnings and middle and end with Mike Baumwall. What, Christian? Tell us about how did you connect with Mike in the first place?
Well, Walden School on the Upper West Side of Manhattan.
Wow, so you went to high school with him?
Yeah, and
wow,
and David, you know, so the Hamburgers lived on like 9. And the Baumwells are on 11.
Right.
You know, and I hung out. I'm a little older, so I hung out a lot more with Michael Hamburger. But then David was in the Dreyer Brothers, and we toured around and blah, blah, blah. But Mikey, you know, like the younger brother to David, I mean, he's cousin, but, you know, Michael and Lisa. And first off, my condolences to Joel and Ellen and Lisa and Elizabeth and Maya, Papai, and Clara. I'm an emotional guy. I cried all day yesterday. I think I emailed all you guys, talked to most of you, and it's blessed to have spent the time this last year with all the Connecticut people, and do the videos with Michael. But yeah, I met Mike in 9th grade. So however old you are in 9th grade.
Right.
And Walden had a jam room, and we were all very musical. There were a lot of different bands. Sorry if I'm distorting it right now.
No, you sound great.
So, you know, geez, and, you know, I saw David and Michael 2 years ago, right before my father passed. We all were at Barcord in New York with Craig Dreyer. Oh, I got to say, shameless plug for Scott Sherrard and Craig Dreyer in Westport tomorrow. at the Levitt Pavilion.
Oh wow!
I'm just shout out, like I haven't talked to my brothers in a couple of months. I was with one brother, and yesterday with Dave, Lisa, and Joel, and it was just a tearjerker, heartbreaking. I feel like the one good thing I heard yesterday is someone, I think it might have been my mom. It's like his soul was done, and you know, maybe ours aren't. I think, guys, we're all here. We still have something to do. We have something to say. And maybe that's not true. I mean, maybe it was just an accident. Michael was really sick and we didn't know. But I'm just, it's raw, heartbroken. I wanted to come in and say hello to everyone. So peace to all y'all. So
I'm glad you did. Yeah, nice to see your face, and always nice to work on project with you.
Likewise.
We'll be doing more. Believe me, I'm going to reach out to all you guys, and we're going to do more. You know, let it get cold, and we're locked in our houses with COVID again or whatever, and we'll be back. You know, this summer we got a little reprieve out of our. You know, it's so interesting to me that we were like, I remember talking to Mike about this. I remember like in May, and it was like, I think it's going to loosen up this summer, and we were talking about what videos. Like we had a pipeline for the summer, you know, and then all of a sudden, everybody got released. All the doors of the prison swung wide, and everybody went out, and there were no more collaborative videos. Like in 1 minute, it died.
Yeah, and I guess that's my one story is, so I'm out in Wisconsin, and a month, 2 weeks ago, mid-July, my last text to Michael, but I called Michael in some mornings out here, be like, Mike, what are you doing? I'd see he was on, you know, you see the green light.
Right.
Facebook, shout him up, and he was like, oh, C. He always calls me C. He's like, it's great to see you're playing, because I play with this band where like hip hop and funk. And I was like, great to see you're playing. Right. Just like you're saying it. Everyone's back out and playing. I'm like, it's great to see you're playing. And that was it. When I look at the phone, and that's like the last thing he said, it's like, great to see you're playing. I was like, likewise, great to see you're playing. So
well, you look for my name when the COVID is back and they lock us back down and we're no more outdoor venues.
Train, we're going to be with you.
I'm going to write you from Last Minute Production, be like, we're back in business. You know?
Well, I always, there's a lot of difference in opinion about digital music and who gets paid, what you're doing, who's distributing, where it is, who's hosting it, right? All this stuff. I liked it. I like that. I work in Pro Tools Collaborative right now with people in Los Angeles. I do my own stuff. It's like, I just like that it was different. I mean, it was covers and all, but the medium was different. So I do like it. It's futuristic. It's whatever you want to name it, or it's not futuristic. It's just where we're at,
Right.
But I dug it. I dug it a lot, and I would continue to do it and check in and play guitar because I love making music. And what
were the favorite songs you worked on with Mike and me?
I would say the second, the Cinnamon Girl was kind of like a freak out. It was like someone else was just saying, it's like, Michael with the deadlines. Like, all right. I was like, so a year ago when he's like, great to see you playing in this last text, a year ago, I was like, hey, Mike, great to see you're playing in this reggae band. He's like, Christian, it's great to see you. We were creeping on each other on Facebook. It had been a while, 2 years prior. We were at Barcord in Brooklyn. And so a year after now, he's gone. And he's like, great to see you're playing. I'm great to see you're playing. Yeah, last year it was like, great to see you're playing. I go, but I like this collaborative video thing you're doing. He's like, do you want to do something? I was like, yeah. He's like, well, Cinnamon Girl, and like, can you do your part now?
Right. You know why? Because we had somebody else. And it wasn't working out. I don't remember who it was. Was it you, Pete? Were you working on Cinnamon Girl, Peter? I don't remember.
He's on mute.
I don't know. Are you self-muted?
No, I don't think it was me. I know that song well, so I could knock
there was
that one
somebody.
out.
As I said it, I was like, "Oh shit!" Like,
I'm like,
really? We had somebody else, and like I thought you couldn't do it, Christian.
Hey, what's up, Peter? I didn't know you were on here.
Oh my God! Yeah. So,
it's blessed. I guess everything we've done, we're blessed. Ed, we're blessed that you carry on with it, because immediately yesterday I was like, I hadn't looked at all the videos that I had done with him in a while, and I was like, what are there? What's there? And for some reason, something wasn't loading in right. I was like, I don't want this to go away. You don't want to lose the content. So like that's an argument with other musicians. Like, I don't want to put my content and create and put my work out on Facebook and Zuckerberg makes money, or YouTube makes, or whoever the F makes money. Right. But then there's a new, like Zappa estate said, no, you can't take my music. It's all under control by the estate. Don't touch it. Bowie said, before he died. I love everyone, mash me up, mix me up, and I'm more like the Bowie thing. Even though I love Frank Zappa, but I think I think putting your work out everywhere is cool. Yeah, no one makes fucking money anymore. Everyone makes 0.001%. However, I love the digital collaboration. I'll continue to do it. I'm so sorry we lost Mike.
My God, yeah. But Christian, I figured all this out, by the way, about making money. Like, I can get involved in lots of projects, and they're fantastic, but we're guaranteed to make no money. There's no money.
So you do it for love, and you do it because that, like, we all have something left to do, you know? And,
because like Mike and I, we spent, like, at some point I said to Mike, you realize we're spending like 12 hours each on a song, and everybody else is doing like an hour or two, but then it turns out they were doing 6 hours. So it's like 200 man hours to make a 3-minute video, and people are like, oh, that was good. All right, good. Yeah, thanks. Okay.
But it's all a marathon. Like, while we're here, you're playing, you're practicing scales, your modes, your diminished, your augmented, learning chords, making a video, writing your own music. I spend years. I go back and I'm like, I'm going to retrack, blah, blah, blah. So it's all a marathon, you know?
It saved me. All this collaborative video and JMTV saved me during the pandemic, because I didn't know it was possible that I'd be locked in my house for a year and a half.
Well, and here's the thing. If it's not important to all those other people and no one's getting paid, it's important to all of those who are involved. So to me, I mean, okay, I'm not a musician, so I didn't spend 12 hours, but I spent my own time.
That's right.
And I loved it, and it was important to me.
Yeah, it was like we built a boat that everybody got to be on the boat, you know, for a while.
Absolutely. Great to have something to work on.
That's right. And actually, Shelley, you spent, I bet you spent I bet, Shelley, you spent way more than 12 hours. When you came into the studio, you were ready to go, right?
Well, I did
that video that we just saw was the third take, all the way through without a break. We didn't cut in. We didn't do anything. Shelley sang the thing from beginning to end, and we said, yeah, that's it, right?
You had to rehearse for it, not just the video.
I gotta say, like, Mikey's videos, like, there was a lot of that kind of shit going on, right?
Yeah. And Winston writing horn charts. I had these images of you, Winston, writing horn charts all night long, like moving notes around. Right?
You did.
I have one like universal question to the whole group, because I know I have like unfinished tracks or unrealized works with Michael in pro files now. And I'm wondering, does everyone else have? You know, we were talking about doing originals, obviously, but Soundgarden, like Spoon Man.
Right.
And I had tracked it once, and then I lost it, and then he sent me, you know, he would send you the backing track. Does anyone else? I'm sure everyone, Ed, you probably have a lot of.
I'll tell you this. Yes, I do. And I don't know how this is going to happen. If any of you, this is very serious right now. If any of you have any advice for me, I don't know his wife. I don't know his family, but I would love to get a hold of his hard drive, you know, so that, because there's all kinds of stuff that we were working on that we, like, bits and pieces of things that are on the back burner. And I don't have all that stuff. Like, I don't have all his drum tracks, and I don't have all the stuff that he worked on with you, Christian. So we're either going to have to reinvent it.
And you just, that blew me apart too, because I was just talking about my own server here and what I put to the cloud and how I work with other people and how I work with Mike. So that just makes me go, because if there's so Michael, and that's what he was saying to me. He keeps a lot of. I mean,
if there were any started projects, like
Michael was saying he was keeping everything and paying for a business account on Dropbox, so higher storage there, and God knows what else.
At some point, I'll talk to his family and see what I can get. Because the other thing is, there are hundreds and hundreds of hours of Mike Baumwall playing drums.
I can reach out to Dave, because Dave, he's right there in town, and Dave might be.
He's a bass player, and I can find out what he's got.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I'm sure the family won't do anything. Joel, they won't do anything drastic with his stuff right away.
No,
But
of course not.
it's a good point that you are a partner with him in this musical endeavor, and there's a body of work on possibly there. Most likely, we know if there is.
Yeah, right.
And not because at first, Ed, I was just thinking my own stuff. Does Shelley have stuff? Maybe JC. Shit, JC's got like 20 tracks that he laid down bass, and and same with Carl Winston, and Hank, and everyone else.
Right.
Frank and Frank
Vault.
Costello.
We got to hold.
So that's
we
a
got to
good
find the
thought.
vault.
Yeah, exactly. And and imagine that, Ed, the things that can grow out of that, from time to time when you look back. I mean, anyway, I said more than I was going to say tonight.
Mike said to me many times, he's like, I'm going to work on these 3 songs. We're probably never going to do them, but I did them already. I finished them and I've got them.
Nice.
And I want them now. I want to now make them.
Right, exactly.
Because they're even more special now,
Right, it's true.
Way more special.
Hey guys, I know. Oh, geez. I'm just chiming in. I'm, again, trying to figure out where are we on this thing, but everything is so beautiful. I'm happy to contribute anything, any snippets of recordings or whatever.
I'll be in touch.
Do anything. We're trying to get kind of a tribute thing going, in a couple weeks. An event.
Yep.
Go ahead, Ed.
Yeah, no. And speaking to what you just said, there is an event and a live jam. This just sort of happened because it was today, but there is a more concerted effort to have a live jam. We might do it at the Boat Club. We're looking for a venue. And Winston sort of, when Carl and you and Winston initiated this, stay tuned, everybody. You'll all have to come down and we'll do some stuff. Mike and I were working on a live performance this winter sometime we were talking about, where everybody would come in and we would do the last minute productions videos, but that's not going to happen that way. Maybe there's something to salvage there. I don't know. Maybe that would be awesome.
Good idea.
But we're going to do some sort of in-person memorial for Mike in a couple of weeks, and we'll keep you posted.
Maybe another one of those all-day jams that we did years ago for.
Right, exactly.
New Year's. That past. Yeah, New Year's.
Yeah. Oh my goodness gracious. So, somebody else just joined. Who is it?
Yeah.
It's Dennis Allred.
Hey, Dennis.
Where's my camera?
Hey,
In
Dennis.
relation to me. It's tipped up here somehow.
Dennis has been trying to get in for like 45 minutes.
It took me a while to get into. I thought Christina was leaving. I kept hitting retry.
I know, and then Henry beat me in.
There you
Damn
go.
you, Henry.
Henry beat him in. Henry's the guy that when the radio station, he's like dialing. What's that?
Are there people waiting, Ed? Should I jump off or?
Who knows? It's a free for all tonight. It's all good.
Yeah.
If you still enjoy being here, be here. We're not going to have
just needed to
rules.
jump in and say it was good working with Mike so much.
But
So you guys said something about this a little earlier. Not to make light, but I'm getting a little nervous.
What do you mean? Oh, because you're a drummer?
Because I'm a drummer. Because you guys also missed
I'd be out of here.
Well, I saw somebody at the Black Duck last week, Margaret, who said they had a picture of some drummer up at the Freeze Park of people who have gone. That drummer I didn't know, so that's one that's gone. But remember, there's Tim Curry, Wexler, Padula, and
Matt Padula, Kim
Powers.
Curry, Steve
So that's
Wexler.
4 that I know personally that are gone.
Well,
It's
Steve
like,
Wexler,
wow.
right? And Art Powers, who came to the jam all the time. He passed away this year. It's been a crazy year. I don't want my phone to ring anymore with people telling me that
Somebody told me you better take up another instrument. Just play drums on the side.
Hey,
Pick up a
Roger Post
harmonica
is
or
still
something.
alive, so
Who?
Roger Post. He's a great drummer.
There you go.
We
need drummers. My God,
Yeah.
just crazy.
I've
Look,
got
it's
tons
Jonathan
of drummers.
Jonathan tried to get in.
I made it in. I got into the basement. How you doing? Hey Heidi. Hey Kristen.
How you doing?
Good,
So what's
man.
your Jonathan? What's your connection with Mike? How did you meet him?
It's a deep connection. It's very deep. I've known Mike. I've known Mike since before I could remember anything.
Wow.
Our parents were best friends, so I grew up with him.
Right.
So, so he's kind of like a cousin.
Right. Crazy. This whole thing is just crazy.
Yeah.
I have not gotten my head around it yet. Really, I really have not.
That's exactly the phrase. I just don't understand. Like, I can't really grasp it.
I never knew that, John.
You didn't know
I
that?
never knew that. No, because John was in our same bands, all of us in the same, and I didn't know you guys went that far back. Wow.
Yeah, we went all the way back. I didn't know you didn't know that. Yeah, we were friends since before we had memories to remember.
Childhood friends, then, right?
Yeah.
Ed, I'm going to jump off just in case somebody else wants to come on here.
Shelly, great to see you. I will see you again, and we will do more. And I hope you can make the jam that we're going to do in the next few weeks. So we'll let you know.
I'm there. Okay.
All right. Good to see you.
Bye.
Shelly Welsh. So, yeah. So Jonathan, I mean, you've known him a long time. It's very strange, you know, and Mike being so young. How old was Mike? 52?
51.
Is that what it was?
I think.
52.
I'm 54, and I'm 3 years older than him. So he was born in
early 50s, you know, and I didn't see any of that coming. I mean, that's just one of those like out of the broadsided, you know.
I mean,
Tom called me, told me. I'm just like, what?
What is that?
I'm sorry. That's my neighborhood. It's,
your neighbor, your loud neighborhood.
I'm moving to Connecticut. I can't take it anymore, man. It's driving me nuts every day. But it's better. Yesterday was my first day back at work full time, as opposed to working from home, so it's a little quieter. Though I'm not really ready for that either. So I got the call yesterday from Lisa.
Oh, so they're going to let you work for like a week and a half and then lock you back up again, right?
I'm not sure where they're going with this. They haven't asked. Have never asked us about vaccination stuff on my side, so I don't know.
It's coming.
As it is now, it's like there's no. I'm there, and we'll see how this goes. But I kind of miss working from home. I'm gonna lose a lot of hours every day because of it when I look back.
Of course you are.
All that commuting and stuff, and well, whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, I'm grateful to have a job, so you know, that's a good thing.
Good to see your face. So, Peter, tell me a little bit about how you connected with Mike. What was your experience with Mike?
I just started bumping into him at the jams when the reggae band would play their set, and I'd see him in the load in or the load out or something, and I was always very comfortable around him. It was just his aura was easy to get along with.
That's right.
I just kind of liked him right away. And we ended up doing 3, I think, online video collaborations. The Pink Floyd thing I thought I had in the can, then I had to redo it all again like weeks later, and like one day over the weekend, like Saturday for like 12 hours straight.
Right.
Got all the parts right.
That was the one that we were going to have Billy Foster sing it, and then Billy couldn't get it together, and so Mike was like, "We have to do it now. We've got all the other parts done. It's going to be on the show tomorrow. We've got to do it now." And he went, "You're going to do it, Ed." And I'm like, "No, I'm not. I am not going to sing it." He's like, "You're going to sing The Wall with Pink Floyd." I go, "No, I'm not." And I did. But that was Mike forcing me to do it. I swear to God.
Anybody out there?
Oh my God.
Yeah, he was an easy person for me to feel easy around, and
he was a great guy to talk to.
That's right.
I never did any videos with him, but I did. We always hung out at the jams and talked shop and stuff.
Right. All right, I'm going to play a video. This is the first. This is by no stretch the best, by no stretch. But this was the first video that we did together, and I thought Mike came up with the idea, and he thought I came up with the idea. So we're not really sure where this came from. But JC also plays bass on it and killed it. So I may not play the whole thing, but I'm going to play some of it. Check it out.
What is it?
I just wanted to play a little bit of that. That song
I like
was
that.
so hard. JC is like a helicopter, like
He's a machine. He's a machine, man.
A machine, right?
Yeah.
And we did that video, and like we learned something about ourselves when we did that video, because it like JC just rattled it off, and we're like, oh my god, this is so hard. So Mike, as you can tell, the drum sound on that was not great because Mike was using one camera with a stereo feed. He didn't know how to do any mixing in those days, right? And we didn't really know. And then we started talking about it based on that video. And we're like, you know, Mike, you need to maybe do multiple microphones and do a mix. And then like Mike had this system that we built together. Like, you know, I would spec it for him, whatever. And he had like 8 microphones into a digital recorder, and he would record all the tracks, and he had a system for importing into Ableton with effects and whatever, and mixing the drums. He put so much work just into mixing the drum sound before we started adding other things. And that, you know, that grew over time. Every video we did, we were trying to like one up everything, like get a little bit better every time. And it was great experience.
Yeah, I think Mike was really comfortable, Ed, with what he got drum-wise. You know, he's using that Zoom board, if you're talking.
Right.
And then he had this other one, because when I came on board, I was in Studio One. Now I was talking about the Pro Tools collaborative. But then Larry Danza, who the bass player from out west, who built me this new, got my whole studio back. I was shit out of luck for 2 years. So when I first started with Michael, Michael was like, use your iPhone. In fact, Cinnamon Girl, I was using an iPhone.
Right.
My whole home studio was down.
We were all using iPhones.
Right. And then to go back, I think Michael got comfortable with a drum sound, like any of us do, an interface, your first DAW, and then you try another DAW, you know, so, because Michael's like, Ableton, and then I was downloading Ableton. I wasn't getting Ableton quick enough, so I stuck with Personas. And
right.
So I think he was just running with what and we all do that. We run with what we have, you know, and run with what you know and you got going. You know?
That's right. And part of the behind the scenes magic was, how do you take the audio? You've got musicians who can, you know, obviously very competent musicians, but do they know how to shoot video? Do they know how to light? Do they know how to, you know, how to make sure the refrigerator and the air conditioner isn't buzzing? And I remember listening to Mike. I was like, Mike is like, all right, I'm sending you the audio stems for the song, and wait till you hear the whatever sound. And I would listen. I'd be like, what is that? Is that like a cat water fountain or something in the background? You know, somebody playing video games. You can hear that.
A lot of it gets drowned out, but yeah, you pick up on all that. The furnace kicks on in the middle of the song.
Right. And so it's like, oh, how am I going to make that work? You know, ambient sound, people recording in their kitchens, you know?
Yeah.
I think half the tracks that Heidi recorded were in her kitchen.
Wow.
You know?
Yeah.
Just part of it.
I know I did those iPhones, and I was so nervous at first. I think, and Jonathan, and right? Were you on Cinnamon and that? And I was like, how are you going to make this work, Mike? And it was like, he made it work. He was like, "Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it." I was like, "Oh, okay."
Oh, I learned after a couple. I learned after a couple shots that I had to turn off my phone. Otherwise, in the middle of the song.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And you've done 7 takes, and they're all terrible. And then you do the 8th take, and you're on it, and you're all the way through it. At the very end, your phone rings. You know.
I got so frustrated a few times. I stopped doing the videos after a little bit. I might go back, but I always get
We're all going back. We're all going to get locked up in our houses one way or another, and we're going to be hungry for music after the summer, and we'll do it. I'm gonna keep it going, and I'm gonna recruit people to help me with the technical stuff as well. Dave Lindsay, you're gonna help me, and you know, we're gonna make this happen again. You know, it's gonna be very hard to. The problem with working with Mike is that he would put 30 hours in 3 days. Like, he would just put so much time in. And I'm like, Mike, I just finished that one. I can't start another one. I have to, like, go have food. You know, I have to eat.
Okay.
He was very driven.
If you don't mind. Hey, David, I wanted to ask, because I ran into Margaret at the Black Duck last week. I don't know if you were on early when I mentioned this. She mentioned a drummer that had passed. You guys had pictures on stage of people that have come to the jams that passed away. A drummer.
Yes. Yeah, that's her brother. Her brother Lou.
Lou what? I don't remember the name.
Lou Nacero.
Okay, I didn't know
him.
He was in a band called Chaos, K-A-O-S.
Oh, and Padula took over for him. She told me that. Yeah.
He was in a band with I think Robin Hurlman was in that band, and some other local Norwalkers, including a guitar player called Randy Sy.
Randy what?
Two out of that band are gone. But I did hear, Henry, you talking about all the drummers. And it's really.
Yeah, you're cutting out there, David.
Yeah, we're losing you a little bit.
Well, hey, I got to cut out. I just wanted to pay my respects to Mike and say it's been fun working with him.
Absolutely.
Even though we had a friendly rivalry going on with our videos.
Oh yeah, it was so funny. It was like
scenes.
competition. Like, oh,
Yeah,
you
well,
you have a
that.
video this week?
We're gonna come back and do this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah,
Good to
we
see
had,
you,
a lot,
Dennis.
we had a lot going on behind the scenes.
And you know, Dennis, and another thing too to that, it's like whatever any of us were doing in any other circle, right? There's a lot of circles, and now the circle became smaller because Mikey's gone. You realize how getting kicked out of this band or that band when I was in New York, when I was in LA, and I'm in the Midwest, all of it's bullshit when you're 50 years old and you die.
Yeah,
it's
right.
over.
Yeah,
like it's so cold and surreal.
Live life and enjoy it.
And those were a
play
couple of
music.
my conversations, and I appreciate you saying that, Dennis. And because, and I don't, I know it's in jest. It probably wasn't a rivalry, but it kind of was. But yeah, man, life is just so short that it's a
It's
marathon.
definitely a fun rivalry. Yeah.
Yeah,
it was just trying to see who could come up with better ideas and move things forward. And, I mean, I talked originally about looking at our original ones, and it was like original MTV. Then we kind of moved through the different phases of MTV as we got better.
That's right. That's right. In fact, I look back. I used to direct videos that were on MTV back in the 80s.
Wow.
And now, like, I watch them on, like, I have an app or something on my TV where I can watch all the old videos from the 80s.
Yeah.
And I watch that, and I'm like, they were awful. They were like, what we're doing with last minute productions is so much better than anything in the 80s. Like, oh my God. Except Michael Jackson, like.
He was the king.
A couple of people had good videos, but a lot of the videos.
because they had good budgets.
Oh my God! Yeah.
One thing I started to notice here in the last 6 months is a lot of the big name ones like Styx and stuff has started doing the collaborative videos.
Right.
It's like they had all the money and all the equipment, and they didn't do it.
Steve Winwood has been doing collaborative videos from his house, and some good stuff. All right, I'm gonna play. Good to see all of you. If you need to sign off,
bye everybody. I'll be back
Dennis,
soon,
we'll get
man.
together soon,
Peace.
I'm gonna play a video that the last time I saw Mike play live. Here we go.
Children must unite. Life is so much more than gold. Yeah, tell me. I wanna jam it with you. Jam it, and I hope you like jamming too. Holding on tight, put it in my fire. Rose of creation, jam it. All about my pride, truth I cannot hide. Gotta keep me satisfied. True love is what I miss. To know that there was this soul can't by my side. Jam it. I wanna jam it with you. We will jam it, and I hope you like jamming too. Yeah, I hope you like jamming. Hope you like jamming. I wanna jam it with you. Jam it, and I hope you like jamming too. Yeah.
Love that.
Nice.
That's the last time I saw him play. That maybe is that the last time that Mike played live?
Where was that?
No. That was at Joey C's Boathouse. I think that was the last time he played. He told me to come down and shoot some video for the band. And
yeah, that might have been. I didn't make it to that one. I was at Captain's Cove.
The video we shot was, I mean, I don't know. Do you have? I don't know how a live stream works, man. But if you could do that raise the frequency tune, you know, it's like 12 minutes. But you know, I don't know if you can do that. But
where was that from? From Joey C's?
A really.
Was that from Joey C's?
Yeah, you videoed it, and it's an Eric Rebeska original, and just a great tune. And Mike loved that tune so much, man.
Yeah, I've got it. I mean, if I shot it that day, then I have it. So I'll make it. I'll finish it up.
So Mike was saying, let's bring Ed in to do the sound, and I didn't want Ed to do the sound. I wanted to do the sound myself. And then, so then I said to Mike, well, let's bring Ed in to do the video, right?
Right.
And that was fine with me. And then Ed came in to do the sound and the video. And it
No, I
worked
didn't
out
do the
very
sound.
nicely
I didn't
that
do the
way,
sound.
Right?
Did I?
Don't you agree?
I didn't do
Yeah,
any
but
sound
you
that
were
day.
like,
We collaborated on the sound.
A little bit, maybe.
Yeah.
Not much.
Yeah, nicely.
I didn't touch
No, it was
any
great.
knobs.
Actually, with the video that. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ed.
No, I just said I didn't touch any knobs that day.
Oh, cool, man. That's the last time we played with
But
Mike,
we were,
right?
I mean, were we lucky? Well, maybe, I don't know. You know, maybe it's cosmic, but we had you there with a video camera, and that worked out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Or I got another one. This is one. I'm some subset of you guys is on this. I know we got Karen Johnstone on this video. I think this was done at a winery. I wasn't there, but this is probably a Mike Baumol video. So check this out.
Oh, it's just the.
Karen Johnstone, I want you to come on over on this wonderful day. Got something to whisper in your ear, Infinity H band style, you know? So check it out. Johnstone on lead vocals and keyboards. Yeah, come on over. Bring your heads that style. Thank you, Jonathan Edwards Winery. Thank you, Susan Talk.
Nice.
Great.
There she is. Karen Johnson's back.
Hi.
Hi.
Karen.
Love the vocals.
My cat
Thank
was
you.
watching you sing. No, that was good.
Blinker.
That's the blank.
He's so big now.
He's like, the music stopped. I want to go now. So that was good. Where was that, Karen?
That was at the winery in way over in eastern Connecticut somewhere. I don't remember the name of the winery, but
They said at the end, I didn't quite hear it though.
Yeah, that was a. Who shot that video? Was that a Mike Baumwall video?
that's a good question. Probably. He probably set up his camera before we played.
Yeah, he was always setting up a camera. We could never be satisfied. You know, like the gearhead like me. Like,
Well, that was the great thing about playing with Mike, because every time I would wake up in the morning, I would just, sit there chomping at the bit for an hour, and then I would get an email, and I would get the link, and I could watch my show, my gig from the night before. I mean, that was really awesome. I never really had an experience like that before. I always remember kind of playing, and then it all sort of disappeared into the night. But that was kind of special. That it takes a lot of time to do all that. So even after playing, he would wake up in the morning, and he was excited about it, and he would put that together, and then you could go back and listen to it. I just got the news today. I'm in Vermont with Peter and my mother, and I got a text message from Eric yesterday saying that he had some news. I wasn't sure what it was about, but I'm kind of
right.
Disconnected, and I'm on vacation, and then he called me today, and just like you said, I can't believe it.
No, I can't believe it. I'm not there. I'm like not there.
Yeah, and the thing is that, like, whenever there's an issue or something that I want to talk about the band, something comes up, or something is being worked out, I need to call the band, I call Mike. So I got off the phone with Eric, and I thought, like, oh, okay, I gotta call the band. I'm gonna call Mike.
Right.
And wow.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's very strange.
I'm really sad.
Very, very strange. Me too.
Yeah, that's gotta be rough. The go-to guy is not there.
Very, very strange.
Yeah,
he will be greatly missed.
Make
He will
sense.
definitely be missed.
He's gonna be, yes, greatly missed. He's always something that anything that we need to work out, I would just give him a call, and he would just kind of have like a good answer. He was kind of that, like, very diplomatic and but still compassionate and understanding way of thinking, and he was kind of able to solve the problems. I met Mike. Well, when you recommended me to sub for the band, and
right.
And I talked to him on the phone, and he seemed like a really nice guy. And I wasn't really sure I hadn't played in a while because I had, been working full time and I had been out of the music scene. And but it sounded like, okay, I could work with these guys, But then I said, I can't do it. I'm not going to be able to do this. I don't know. I'd love to, but I just don't have the time for it. And then they said they were going to play in the end. And so I went to go and check them out, and I watched them, and I thought, I think I could contribute to this band. The group of nice guys, and maybe I should really, carve out some time. And they all got off the stage afterwards. I introduced myself, and they said, sorry that you won't be playing with us. You were going to play, but now, we got the news you're not going to play. And I said, no, I'm going to play.
It trains out.
And,
Yeah, he will be sorely missed.
Somebody...
that easy vibe that he had will be very much missed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
kind of like smoothed over any problem.
I had
and he was kind of.
What's that, Dave?
No, I was waiting for Karen. Am I breaking up? Or you can hear me okay?
Yeah, we're here. You're all right.
Good. Karen's breaking up a little bit. Though.
Yeah, Karen, you're breaking up. Your internet's
couldn't
I can make out what you're saying.
Yeah, I can make out what you're saying, but you're breaking up a little.
So I lost a couple of people, close people, over the last month. One was a college friend of mine that died like right before his 60th birthday. And then I lost another, like an old friend of the family who was about 90. And so, life didn't owe her anything. But but her family sent out this card, like they live in Holland, and they had a poem on it. And just to paraphrase it a little bit, it was like, they started out by taking a shell out of the ocean, and then that shell kind of went through life. And then when she's gone now, they put the shell back in the ocean. And I really like the symbolism of that in terms of just like the continuity of life, like there's this vast ocean. We're just a tiny piece of it, and we're here for a short time, and we get to enjoy our time here, and then we don't, right? But it struck me as a very cool poem, and obviously they picked it for a reason like that.
Yeah.
It was. A lot of people pick a lot of different, writings or something like that to remember people by, or not a lot of them strike me necessarily, but this one really made an impact on me. And it's just, we get to a certain age, and it becomes more and more frequent that we're losing friends,
Sure.
And I'm at that age.
Right. It's true.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going first, okay? That's putting you all on notice. You're gonna have to what?
You're a keyboard player. You guys will be around forever.
Oh, you're a drummer, right? Drummers.
Oh no!
What is it with drummers? My God!
High five, Dave.
Yeah, really? What is it with drummers? In Spinal Tap, the drummers all caught fire, right? They like spontaneously.
Well, no, they died all different reasons. One spontaneous combustion with a green goo on the drum stool, and you gotta stick together, Dave, man.
Well,
yeah, that's true. It's really true. We had that. We have this poster that we've been bringing to Freeze Park that I put there's seven or eight people on that poster that are no longer with us, and 4 of them are drummers. I'm like, wow, what's going on here?
What is going on there? That is crazy. Yeah, no, it really is. It has not hit me properly, and boy, we got Karen and Carl and Winston are fighting their internet connections. There they are.
Fighting tooth and nail. Well,
there you go. That's better.
Well, while I'm connected, I just wanted to say, lastly, that Mike always had a way of knowing what was important to me when it came to how we were going to do things. We had a conversation once where I was like, well, I could just play once a month. I don't have more time than that, and it's maybe during the day, this sort of thing. And then when we would get back on the line and talk about what we were going to do. Well, I talked to the guys, and we're planning on doing once a month, and it's going to be daytime gigs, not too late, And he paid good attention to other people and what was important to them. And I've always really appreciated that about Mike. That made it so that I always had a good time. I was never uncomfortable. And he really listened, and he's going to be very much missed.
He's going to be very missed. But that wasn't the way he was with me. With me, he was like,
well, I heard you talking before.
He was like, it's 11 o'clock. You have until 6 in the morning to get me that mix. I was like, what?
Man, I used to do work until.
Well, Ed, you don't look as good as
I
Karen.
used to work at 2. I would be recording vocals sometimes at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning just to get it finished.
Yep.
And he'd already be calling me up at like 7 a.m. and I was awake. I only sleep like 5 hours. And I'd be like, yeah, I sent some tracks last night at 2 in the morning. Check your computer. You know, that kind of thing. But, you know, Karen mentioned something really important. I got to the point because it would take me hours to just figure out the room, the clothing, the microphone. He hated that I always had the mic in my face, and he called it the praying mantis, that it looked like I had a praying mantis in front of me. So I would change all that. Yeah, over and over and over and over again. And we'd have 100 calls. I just wrote that on the message.
Right. I saw that.
We would talk to each other like every half hour. I have videos here. I've never deleted anything, and I'm so glad. Sending him me talking, saying, so what do you think of this hairdo? And what do you think of this? And he was so listening to all of it. But then I said at one point, I can't do this anymore. I said, I can't. This is too much. Nobody would ever think it takes hours to do these videos.
I know.
Hours and hours.
Hours and hours. Endless amounts of time.
And being a perfectionist about things like that one with the Supremes where I had to do the 9 vocal harmonies and all that. It took forever. And Mike said, I'll never forget his reaction. He laughed and he said, well, I had one more song lined up. And he goes, but Heidi, don't worry. You're talking like you have to commit now for the rest of your life. He goes, just take a break for 2 weeks. Don't do any videos for the next couple of weeks. And then you never know. You might change your mind. I think you're just having a bad day. He goes, don't write it off. Like I was writing everything off. And what he had helped me do, which I was kind of going through a little bit of sadness, I had been in my previous live, like regular band for a year.
Right.
And here in Texas, we had our last gig March 11th, 2020. And I told him, the guys are going to start playing again. They're going to go out and play because people started doing things here earlier. And he and all of you guys being up north were like, nobody's playing here. And you have no idea, for me as a northerner, how that just brought me into the whole circle of doing this video stuff and saying to the guys in the band, no, I can't do this. I can't go out and play in a bar right now. Just because Texas decided that the virus is gone, it's not gone. I'm not playing out. And so I felt bad because I left the band and then I was just doing this, and Mike was really encouraging that I was doing the right thing. You're doing the right thing. And then 4 people, I think I told you the story, Ed, like 4 people ended up getting COVID from the band. And they said to me, Heidi, keep doing what you're doing. It was the smartest thing. And then they retreated and they stopped and everything fell apart. Forget it. It was like, and now we're back with this stupid Delta thing in Texas. Worse than
what is going on.
Crazy. But it was Mike who reassured me, Karen, who said, well, you know, you're doing the right thing. And as far as the videos go, just take a break, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
so Mike Balwall, he's like, no, don't, you know, you should leave the band. And while you're out of the band, you should work for doing videos for free. Yeah.
Of course.
It worked out.
He had a way of reasoning. He was reasoning.
Yeah.
It's true. We had all those conversations, and I remember introducing people in to the mix, like Holly. I remember Holly coming in, and I said to Holly was like, "Who is this guy that you're working with doing these videos?" And I go, "No, it'll be fine. Don't worry." And then I said to Mike, "You can't like call her in the middle of the night and be like hassling her about you, like, please, you know, I don't want you to ruin my relationship with her, you know." And then eventually she grew to love him very much, you know. But you know, I remember early on he explained to me, I was like, Mike, you're like the Energizer Bunny. You got to slow down. Like, we don't have to do 4 videos a week, you know. And he said, I'm just used to getting my way. I was always like that as a child. Like, I don't take no for an answer, and everybody knows that. And so, like, you better learn that right now. That's what he said to me. I was like, okay, I guess I'll learn that, you know.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Well, it worked out for the better. He created tons of videos while he had the time.
He did a lot of great videos.
That is the truth. That is the truth. Well, super good to see you guys on Jam TV. I got one more that I'm going to play of your band from the winery there, and check it out if you want to stay hang out. There it is. And then there were three.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's been a crazy week. Crazy week. That was Mike Belmont playing the drums on that song.
Well, I don't know if you saw my comment on your post, Ed, but so I talked to Mike a week ago Monday.
Right.
And he's like, so, what's up with your jam? I want to come down.
Right.
And I can't come this week, but I'm going to try to come next week. And that would have been this past Tuesday.
Right.
And I remember thinking, like, oh, well, Mike didn't make it. And, it was like just a passing.
I know,
thought,
yeah.
like,
You
oh,
make
I
a
wonder
mental
what
note. You
happened.
check off the people you thought you were going to be there, right?
Right. Well, he said, yeah, I'm going to try to make it. And then, obviously you don't really think anything of it. People's plans change every minute, right?
Right.
And then when I heard this, I was like, oh.
Terrible. He called me actually out of the blue, which he didn't usually do. His relationship with me became a lot of, it was friends, but we became like, we talked when we had a mission, like we had something we were working on. We had to talk and hash it out and figure, or he wanted to know about some technology or whatever it was. And so we hadn't, we didn't just shoot the shit all the time. And he called me on Sunday on his drive down from the Great Lakes area down to Connecticut. I guess he was bored driving for like 7 hours or whatever. And he called me up and he said, hey, I'm just calling to shoot the breeze and hang out. I'm like, what? Like, that was weird. And he called Randy too, apparently.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't know. It isn't real yet. And it's heartbreaking. But it hasn't hit me yet.
Yeah.
What I wonder, and maybe this is a morbid thing to wonder, but since I've already lost people,
right?
My sister, my mother, my father, and a husband at 34.
Right.
I often wonder about those last moments, and I can't help wondering, and it might sound inappropriate if any family member is listening. I apologize. But I can't help wondering if he had a few minutes, because I know with my mom, she died very suddenly, and my nephew was holding her, and she died within 10 minutes, and she was having a massive heart attack. My father also died very quickly. He was at the Hialeah in Miami, and so a few people knew or something was wrong, and then they died. Like, he was alone, and he was sleeping. I wonder if it was a smooth thing, or did he know at that moment, or
I doubt it.
Or will they know if he was sick that night or anything?
I doubt it. I doubt it. It's a freak thing. A good friend of mine had a similar situation, but survived it. And his wife woke up in the middle of the night, and she touched him, and he felt weird, and he wasn't breathing, and his heart had stopped. And in the middle of the night, and she just coincidentally woke him up, and he wouldn't wake up. So they did CPR, and the son did CPR, and the ambulance came and they did CPR, and they took him to the hospital, and they kept trying to get him, and the paddles and the whole thing, and they couldn't get his heart started again. And then all of a sudden his heart started, and 3 days later he woke up from the induced coma, and he was fine. Like, what am I doing here? And they said, this is a freak thing. and it's never going to happen again, and there's no medicine, and it's just a freak thing that happened. And you know, I just have to think that that's what happened with Mike, that it was just he went to sleep, and that's that.
Yeah.
And that's the way to go, but you don't want to do that at 52 years old with family and children. And I feel terrible for his family. You know, I can't imagine with two young girls.
How old are his daughters?
They're little. They're not big.
Little.
You know, they're under 10, I think.
Under 10. That's what I think. Yeah.
So very sad. He was a very devoted father, and you know, I think it's just a terrible tragedy.
Well, I mean, as the victim, that is the way you want to go, right? Short and sweet, bye-bye. But for those of us left behind, that's not the way you want anyone to go, because you don't get a chance to say goodbye. You don't get any of that closure. You there's nothing, right? It's like here one day, gone the next.
Both of my parents passed away that way. My mother had breakfast and went and sat down in a chair with a cup of coffee with her book and literally nodded off. And that was that. She had an aneurysm.
Wow.
And my father, you know, had a massive coronary while he was putting his pants on in the morning and was gone in 10 seconds, you know. So, you know, that's kind of the way you want to go. Like, you don't want to go where they're like, listen, you've got to go through treatments now, which you're not going to survive, and it's going to be horrible for the rest of your life. You know, you don't want to go that way. But that's not that situation with something like Mike is just a horrible tragedy because it's way too young. You know, he had a whole life ahead of him, and it's very, very, very sad. Anyway,
it's tough when you've got little kids. That's really you know,
absolutely. I've already said to my friends, I'm like, you know, if I go suddenly, you drive out to Pennsylvania, you get my cats, and they're yours, and you're going to take care of them, right? And they're like, we're going to take care of them, you know?
Right.
It's terrible. All right. Well, great to see both of you.
You too.
And we're going to end GMTV. I played in Passaic, New Jersey. Where did you live in New Jersey, Heidi?
Oh, I lived much farther out.
You live closer to me, closer to Delaware Water.
I lived in Bud Lake, and I know I have an idea where Passaic is, but I don't know if you know where.
I know where Bud Lake is.
Well, you pass that exit. It's exit 26, and I wasn't that far from the Delaware Water Gap.
Right. Yeah. So we played in Passaic the other night with Fatback and the Urban Plowboys with Dave Hirsch. And
I watched a tiny bit of that. I started watching it, and I heard you say you were in Passaic.
There you go. I'm going to play some of that concert on our way out of GMTV, show number 75, and I hope to see you guys next week.
Thank you for everything.
Great to see you.
Bye, guys.
Okay, we'll be back very shortly. We're back in there for Popeyes. Gary O. By the rivers of Babylon, where we sat down, and there we lived, would we remember Zion? By the rivers of Babylon, where we sat down, and there we carry us away, captivity, requiring of us a song. How can we sing in our soul in a strange land? So let the words of our mouth and the meditations of our hearts be acceptable in thy sight, so let the words of our mouth and the meditations of our hearts be acceptable in thy sight, So let the words of our mouth and the meditations of our hearts be acceptable in thy sight, Let's go. Yo soy un hombre sincero, de donde crecen las palmas. Yo soy un hombre sincero, de donde crecen las palmas. Y antes de morir me quiero echar mis besos del alma. Guantanamera, Guajira, Guantanamera, Guantanamera, Guajira, Mi verso es dedicado y tu jardín encendido. Mi verso es dedicado, el jardín encendido. Mi verso es el cielo herido que busca en el monte amparo. Guantanamera, 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 quiero yo mi suerte echar con los pobres de la tierra. Quiero yo mi suerte echar en un arroyo de la sierra. Me complace más que el mar. Guantanamera, everybody sing along. Juanita Guantanamera, Guantanamera, Juanita Guantanamera. Guantanamera, Juanita Guantanamera, Guantanamera. Juanita Guantanamera, Guantanamera.
Thank you so much, Courtney Coletti.
Thanks everybody for staying with us on GMTV. This is show number 75. We're starting our last 25 to 100 shows. I don't even know what that means, but I thought of it. And Mikey Beans, you'll be missed. You'll be missed, and more to come from our good friend Mike Baumwall in coming weeks. And we'll be doing some events as well. But I will see you next week on GMTV, show number 76.